Peace, y'all. What's going on? Peace and power to the descendants of my ancient mother. My name is Brother Legend. Welcome to the live. If you're joining us on YouTube, my TikTok is BIGBROLGND. That's where you can find us. We go live on Wednesday to Sunday at 6 p.m. or around then. And to be notified when we go live, go on my page, BIGBROLGND. Tap on the notification bell at the top right, and it will tell you when we go live. You can also check me out on Twitter, BIGBROLGND, on all platforms. I post my replays on YouTube. What's going on, brothers and sisters? What up, what up? Hope everybody's been well. It's been an eventful 24 hours for me. Been a very eventful 24 hours for me. We've officially incorporated our nonprofit, B1 Initiative. We're officially incorporated. Me and my wife have been filing paperwork. So we all set up there. Shout out to everybody that's been here since the beginning. So we officially got the nonprofit paperwork filed. We're filing trademarks now. And we got the domains purchased. We got the domains plural purchased. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, plural. Hey, my bad. I don't know how long y'all couldn't hear me. My microphones must not be charging when I think they're charging. So that being the case, I'm just not going to use a mic today, but I was just talking about how we okay. So yeah, we've been incorporated. We've incorporated B1 Initiative. Shout out to everybody that's been donating to $Bring Down Babylon. I'll be giving updates in the Discord. Check the community updates. Turn your notifications on, b1initiative.org. Shout out to all the people in the Discord. I can't hear either. My phone is... I can't hear the sound effects. But shout out to everybody in the Discord. I'm going to keep updating y'all. And we incorporated the nonprofit today. We purchased the domains, all the .coms and .orgs that we're going to need for the first project. What else? Because the way the business plan is set up, it's like a domino effect. So we have one project that's going to be like the foundation for everything else. So we have started, we're already incorporated. So now we've started the trademark applications that we're going to need for B1 Initiative to really take off. So expect more updates, and we're going to start, doing more. So keep donating. $Bring Down Babylon, and join the Discord to get updates. We're building a platform for Pan-African people worldwide to learn more about our history and some of the things that I talk about on the live. We're also a think tank, so we think of innovative solutions for our people, ways to unify all Pan-African Garveyites report to b1initiative.org. Appreciate you. All right, so topics today, same as yesterday, but yesterday was so interesting. I feel like we didn't get everything off our chest, so I want to have y'all come up and talk some more. The questions above are Pan-African politics. It's an election year. Having these discussions is necessary. Keep tapping like as you listen along. When I get to 2K likes, that's when I start to bring people up. As I continue to check on your answers for the questions, I'm gonna also give you a grade. I will grade you on the answers that you give. They're all yes or no questions, except for the last one. The last one's not a yes or no. So, but the last one's kind of like an either or. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'll bring people up when we get to 2K likes. We got to get to 2K first. Should we care about Palestine? I'm joined by a karaoke Indian behind me. Should we care about Palestine? Does voting benefit our people? And does the left or the right care more about Black progress? Those are the questions. Yes, that is a karaoke Indian.
So let's talk about, okay? So like he
What up? What up?
Black president, but
The person at the bottom,
he
I
wasn't
don't know,
the
your name is
first
like a minus
African
sign. You
American
got to turn your
president, though.
camera on
He wasn't the
and turn
first
it back
African
off,
American president.
or you're just going to get dropped. TikTok is going to drop you.
He wasn't the first
I think it's going to drop you
American
anyway. I don't think
president.
you have
He
camera
was
ability.
half white too. He was half Kenyan.
So you can't be up here. Game nerd, what's going on, sister?
What's up, brother legend? How you doing today?
Can you hear?
I can hear you. Can you not hear me?
Hey, I can't hear nobody. I'm not sure what's going on.
Can you hear me? Because I'm not muted. Can the chat hear me? I hear it now.
Okay, so everyone else can hear you, but I can't hear you for some reason.
Oh, well, that defeats the whole purpose. Jeez. I can drop down. I'll drop down real quick.
Phone is all the way up.
I can drop down. I'll drop down real quick.
I don't think it's you, sister. I might have to restart. Wait, hold on. See, I can't hear that. I can't hear the applause.
What's going on?
I don't know. Something's going on my phone. Y'all, I might have to restart, man. And we got off to such a great start, too.
I know, right? Restart. I'll drop down.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to try something. Hold on. I'll be right back. Sister, could you say something else, please?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I just, I restarted the app without taking down the live. So go ahead. Talk to me. What's going on with you?
Oh goodness. I'm good. How are you doing today? It's not crazy yet, so
Yeah.
yes. Okay, there are your questions because I immediately forgot them as soon as they left off the screen. But I'm gonna go ahead and get through these questions real quick. Should we care about Palestine? I know you said these are yes or no questions, but I do want to expand a little tiny bit. Should we care about Palestine? Sure, we should. But is that my main focus? Is that my priority? No, absolutely not. I personally free Congo. That's where we are with that. So there's that. Does voting benefit our people? I think as politics are right now, no. They don't. I don't think we have enough like people to actually, make a difference in our vote. Especially like if we go down to the third question, does the left or right care? Because neither side is for us. So, and there's rarely a third party. It's just not beneficial for us personally. I don't think so. We don't have the numbers, and this system is not set up to benefit us whatsoever. They do everything in their power to keep us down. So, no. Yeah, and that's it.
All right.
All right, don't care about this.
Starting us off in a revolutionary way. I agree with what you're saying. Empathy, of course, or I would say sympathy. And then, also understanding that what goes on in Palestine is an extension of what goes on with us. So let's cut it off at the root. And then, voting benefiting our people. I think weaponizing the vote at one point was something that was, somewhat beneficial, being us coming together to weaponize it. But voting in itself as an act is not pro-black, it's just us right now. We don't really have a candidate to pick that's going to have our backs. So what is the point of voting? Not to say that we shouldn't be doing anything. It's just voting might not be the thing to do.
Right. And also, I think that would only be effective if we were doing that in conjunction to like other things, like as a part of a whole, not just like voting is going to fix something. Like, no, we would have to do, it would be multiple things that we would have to do for voting to even, make an impact, in my opinion. But oh, excuse me. Sorry, hold on.
I'm gonna go to the next guest. Pooh, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
And I'm Black, 24, and they she.
All right, talk to us.
I think the first question, should we care about Palestine? Absolutely. It's free Palestine until they're free from the river to the sea. We should care about them because we should never support any form of genocide. And any genocide that happens to people who aren't of color will happen 10 times worse to Black people, especially since Black people were in the roughest, longest genocide to ever exist. We should support it. So, yes, free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan. Does voting benefit our people? Me personally, I don't vote. I don't think that voting would benefit Black people. Like you said earlier, we don't have options to choose from. I also think that the system in itself is terrible, and I don't think that operating under that system will support Black people. I think we need to just fully abolish the system as a whole. Does the left or right care? The right, absolutely not. I think that the left cares more, but I do think that the left is very performative, and because of the leftists that are visible for us in this moment, they're still white tea people, and I don't think that they're a proper reflection of what liberation and freedom for Black people looks like. So I guess it would be no for left and right.
I'm gonna give you some pushback because, first of all, the thing you said about Palestine, I don't know if you saw, but you kind of contradicted yourself. You said what'll happen to non-black people will happen 10 times worse to Black people. Could you explain that?
Like, so the best way I could explain it is I feel like Black people always get the end of the stick. And I just feel like if we put it in a position where we say that, not that Palestinians are not Black, I don't want to push that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that in history, when we've seen people like us not care about people of color, or like white men, for example, not get the support they've needed, it's always been 10 times worse for Black people. So I just feel like that's the way that the structure works.
When?
What do you, what,
When has non-black people being treated bad been an indication that black people are going to be treated any worse?
well, because I feel like Black people always get treated the worst. I feel like us as a race, as a whole, as a people, always get the end of the stick. So
No, but the thing is, where are you finding the correlation? Like, do you have a like an empirical basis on which you're creating this idea, or is it just like when has it ever been? Uh-oh, non-black people are being oppressed. We're going to be even more oppressed, y'all. Because to me, it looks like we're just constantly being oppressed, and they go like this in different places. But
no,
um,
I agree with you. I think maybe I explained that wrong. I guess what I'm trying to say is like if they don't care about white C people, they definitely don't care about Black people. And I just feel like us saying that we shouldn't care about a genocide that's not happening to Black people because it's not Black people, I feel like it's just a bit. I feel like genocide in itself is negative, and I feel like if we push aside genocide that's happening to people who aren't Black, that when genocide has happened, does happen, but when genocide happens to Black people, it'll be pushed further back. Like it will be even less cared about because Black people always get the end of the stick.
emotionally, what you're saying makes sense, but there's many reasons why that logic is flawed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've actually spoken about this. You're actually speaking to what I've noticed with a lot of pro-black creators that have Palestinian flags in their bio, and if you check on their page, they've got more videos about what's going on in the Middle East than they do with their own people.
Right.
And so I've noticed that a lot of them use that same logic where, oh my God, it's happening to people that look like Kim Kardashian. What's going to happen worse to us next? And it's like, that's part of the flaw in that thinking is that they have to be treated well in order for us to continue to be treated less than them, but better, I guess. If they're treated better,
No, I don't. That's not what I agree with.
it's on the mentality of an enslaved person
No, that
that you see what I'm saying? It
no, but
gets
that's not what I. That's I don't think that I agree with you. I don't know what I'm saying is like being explained.
want to try again.
Black people have always been
No,
treated bad. So by
right,
you saying that just because there's a genocide of a different group, that we're gonna get the backlash of it is where it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. Black people have always gotten treated the worst.
right,
So I can't focus on your genocide when there's one that's happening to people of my own right now. I can't put your house out on fire when mine is burning.
right.
Prioritizing other people is Black people's biggest issue.
No, I agree. I don't. I'm not prioritizing Palestine over Congo or Sudan at all. I'm just saying that we do operate in an anti-black world. Everything is surrounding
Don't
anti-blackness.
anti-Palestine world, however.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Don't the entire world is not anti-Palestine.
No, no. I agree with you.
The entire world will look at your black ass and look at you as
Right,
less than human.
right. I
So
agree with you.
so that's where it becomes like they're just oppressed in Palestine. There are Palestinian people in America, and no one is genociding them here. Like, oh, you're Palestinian. I'm gonna pull you over. I'm gonna make sure you don't get resources. I'm
Hmm.
gonna just that. They're not getting that treatment, but all over
Right,
the world, we get that treatment. So
right.
again, what's being treated less than us? There's no like them getting treated better. Them having less genocide against non-black people doesn't bring us up. That's not
No, I
how.
agree.
What works is when black people get treated better, everyone else goes up.
I
But our
agree.
oppression is not correlated, even though we have the same oppression, same oppressor in certain scenarios. Because also the oppressor that oppresses us from the east, the Palestinians have nothing to say about. They're not making murals for the brothers and sisters in Yemen and Libya that are being currently put into modern day slavery by other Arab people. they don't mention that. They don't speak up all of a sudden then. But when it's George Floyd, when it's the West that are doing the oppression, someone that doesn't like them, then all of a sudden is we have an alliance with black people, then you're treating us like the N-words. So we don't want to be treated like N-words. So we're going to unify with them and use them for their number.
I like wholeheartedly, I agree with you.
But so you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Like when people say like the question is vaguely worded, and so your reason, like people's reasoning behind the question, is really what I'm judging more than the question, how they answer the question itself. Should we care? As a anti-Western imperialist, as someone that's anti-colonialism, anti-oppression, yeah. Should I be pro-Palestinian? Nah. I'll be anti all that oppression in my own community where people are more oppressed than they are in Palestine. You're going through a genocide right now here in America. But we're so conditioned to not look at it that way that we don't see that that's what's going on. They said that black wealth is going to be depleted to $0. The average black family is going to be worth $0 by the year 2050. You're going through a genocide right now. What are we going to do then in 2050? I'm going to be 60 years old. What's going to happen then? You know, so it's like we're the most incarcerated, least likely to have upward mobility, most impoverished, medical racism. We got the prison industrial complex swallowing our men up. Like if they can make it past 35, the least likely to live past 65. You know, so it's like we got all this stuff against. You're currently going through a genocide right here. So if you're anti-genocide, shoot, let's get to work then. We got plenty of work right here before we can start thinking about how we gonna help somebody else and figure out for somebody else. I could feel for them. I see it on TV and I'm like, damn, they treating you like actually they not even treating y'all as bad as the people in Congo, to be honest. I ain't see not one Palestinian kid working in no mines for a multi-billion-dollar industry. Like, so I don't see that at all. Like little children, you know, cannot afford to eat, but they're sending them down these mine shafts that look crazy. They look crazy, like a deep mine shaft, a hole into the ground that I would never go down. I'm too claustrophobic. I could never do it. I don't know how. And they're sending little boys, little girls down there to go pick up raw minerals with their hands that you would need a hazmat suit to even touch. I never seen one Palestinian do that. So, you know.
So also perspective about that is that you know, the things that happened to our ancestors here, I didn't see nobody, which wasn't that long ago. Nobody was free the African Americans. Nobody ever does that for us.
Why? You know what Palestine was doing back then? They was enslaving our ancestors.
Exactly.
Until the 1890s. Even after America made it illegal. The Ottoman Empire still had African slaves. Sex slaves. How about that? The women, you know how we think of Middle Eastern people and they had harems of wives? That was our ancestors. Look up the Zanji Rebellion. It was the largest slave rebellion that ever happened in history. Ever. And that was in the 1890s. And then all the way up until 1960, they still was having, you know, modern day or an upgraded version of that. So it's like, bruh.
But even now, people in Congo and Sudan are supporting Palestinians more than Palestinians are supporting people in Congo and Sudan. Like, people in Palestine are receiving way more aid, way more support, way more visibility in the news versus what's going on in Congo and Sudan. And I think that is it's anti-blackness.
I mean, yeah, I haven't seen many people in Congo doing that. You might have to put me on. I've seen people in Africa do that, but people in Africa don't know what's going on in Congo either. That's why we talk about it. I know Nigerians that had no clue until they came up here talking about it. And you know, Nigeria is not next door, but they're on the same continent, you would assume. But, you know, a lot of them look at it as just, oh, that's tribal conflict, tribal wars. but they don't know that there's a puppet master pulling those strings, you know? So that's the thing about Palestine. It really, like, I don't know. For me, from a so as someone that's heavily watching geopolitics, because of my organization, which we incorporated last night. This morning we incorporated it. We're constantly like watching geopolitical news and what's going on around the world, and I look at the Palestinians and I'm like, dang, that's real messed up. But y'all are racist even in Palestine. Like, they even still got time to be racist as they're being oppressed. So it's like, I wish y'all the best as we continue to fight Western imperialism. But after Western imperialism falls, I know we're still going to have to look to the East and stop Eastern colonization of Africa. I know we're still going to have to look to the East and say, you know, y'all got to stop with the slavery. Like, y'all been doing this for over 1,000 years. Like, y'all been doing this before the West. So it's like, you know, it's still going on. Like, it's got to stop. Somebody got to hold them accountable too. I don't know where the Palestinians is at. But I don't know. But yeah, so D, what's good, sister?
Holy Spirit, activate.
Can you hear?
Yep.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Activate for us, sister.
I was supposed to wait on my.
Oh, my bad. I got you.
Hello, hello, and welcome in. Let's activate that Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, activate, activate, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Hello, hello, and welcome to Brother Legends Live. You guys, you are in Brother Legends Live. I need you guys to tap that screen. Tap, tap, tap. Power tap that screen. Tap that screen like me, myself, and I tapped that Cash App last night. Tap, 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 tap. Tap the screen, share the live, invite your friends, your frenemies, invite your darn enemies. But at the end of the day, make sure you are tapping that screen, sharing the live, and most importantly, make sure you subscribe here and on YouTube at Brother Legends Live. You guys, also, most importantly, make sure that you're joining Discord, b1initiative.org, where you can get, could you be mute, please? Where you can get tuned up, turned up, and educated. At the end of the day, it's time to build with your people, y'all. And before I say I'm tapping out, I need y'all to tap, tap, tap the screen and also bring $1 or $2 to bringing down Babylon. We still got work to do, y'all. So make sure y'all are still donating, pouring into this fund. At the end of the day, I'm tapping out. Y'all tap up. We need to get to 10K ASAP. But matter of fact, we need to get to 50. So tap, tap, power tap that screen.
Appreciate you, Diva. All right, y'all. Yeah. We last night, we got our goal reached for Bring Down Babylon. So we started doing what we had to do. We incorporated B1 Initiative as a nonprofit, and we bought the domains that we need, the .orgs and the .coms. And we started the application for filing the patent that we're going to need, and yeah, we're gonna be doing some more things. So keep donating. $ Bring Down Babylon. But everyone that's in the Discord is going to get the updates. You know, we're just getting started. Absolutely, it is awesome, Laura. Me and my wife been going hard too. We barely even wanted to sleep last night. I just got started. I was telling y'all, because I like doing TikTok lives, but my focus is that organization because I know that's what's gonna like make the lasting impact. I've already started what, like, before last night, like we already have a lot of the work complete. We just needed the extra funds to like actually get the the paperwork and all that. So Yeah, we're gonna do some more things, and we're gonna liven up the Discord as well. So now I can buy like a private server for some things. Like it's gonna be fun. Anyway, back to what we're doing. Anybody that wants to join us, b1initiative.org. Link is in my bio. Rap Kid, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please. Rap Kid,
What's up?
peace. What's going on?
I'm doing good, man. You know, I'm still doing my thing. I'm trying to figure out what you guys are doing so I can at least contribute to it and stuff like that.
Absolutely. We what we're doing is a multi-pronged, like it's like there's different things going on. We're doing activism. Most of it is remote, so it's things that we can do online. So that leaves it open to the entire diaspora being able to participate. So we're doing some things with activism. We're doing things with education. We're doing things with technology, and we're doing things with media. Pan African propaganda, like Marcus Garvey did with the Negro World newspaper. So we're doing a few different things. What we need people the most for right now is to build our Wikipedia-like site, where basically we just need people to contribute. Like, how Wikipedia, when you go in there, anybody can change an article. Like, we just need contributors. So we need people that, know a little bit about African history, can, contribute. We'll have people come behind and like do all the fact checking, but we're just getting started doing it. Me and my wife have been having a private catalog of certain articles, and we just need more contributors for that site. We're going to vet everybody that's touching the site, see what their expertise is before we just let anyone talk about it. But basically, it's a Afrocentric historical telling of African history on a website like Wikipedia, and also a Pan-African perspective on scholars like Sheikh Anta Diop, John Henry Clark, Chancellor Williams. We're gonna have like articles about like Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba. The real telling of what happened. Not like you look it up and it just says there were corruption and like all the lies that the West puts. Like, we're not doing that. We're gonna have a real resource for brothers and sisters to teach their children, to start a class if you want to do a class. Like, it's going to be a knowledge base. So that's what we're doing. Anybody that wants to contribute, b1initiative.org. That's the Discord where we talk about it. That's our think tank.
Man, that's awesome because I feel like that's one thing we are missing. We are missing the stories of our heroes, the right stories of our heroes. So we know that we have people that are fighting for us. And we've been had this for generation after generation, and they've been assassinated, and we're just not telling the story. And like, we're not telling the story over and over so we can remind our people so that doesn't happen again. And I feel like that's very important.
That's where we starting. That's the Wikipedia like site. I call it like because we got a name for it. I'm just waiting for the trademark application to be finished. But so we're gonna do that, and that's what's gonna like lead to everything else. Like, once we have that knowledge base of Afrocentric history and as a resource, then we can have a media publication. We can have curriculums made for homeschooling Black children, because right now they're taking CRT out the schools. They don't want children to learn African history. They don't teach children about Mansa Musa or what's the queen of Kush, Aramenas. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and that's also the craziest thing. I didn't know about slavery till I came into America. And it's also the same thing in Africa. They don't teach us nothing about what happened to our people. So it's literally all of us. Yes. And like, I literally not learning about slavery. I didn't even know I was Black till I came to America.
Yep.
You start learning all this stuff, you realize like, damn, this country is crazy.
Because only here you get put into a category,
That
but when you go
category.
to other countries, they don't call you African American. They just call you American, and that's it. As far as where you come from, because of the way you speak. Now, I'm a Pan African, so when I seen that up there, Pan African politics, I'm a big fan of the whole Pan African movement. You know what I'm saying? That's big, and I think a lot of us need to join that because regardless of what you believe, your religious beliefs, like if you believe in Christianity, Muslim, whatever the case is, one thing is for certain, you could cancel your subscription to all those beliefs, but you can't cancel your skin color. You can't cancel your biology. That's one thing for certain that you didn't choose when you come into this world. You chose a religion you follow, whether it was indoctrinated through your family, but you did not choose. You did not choose your color. And I think for the sake of your biology, in the sense that we're under attack, and we like a society of individuals, we need to come together. We really do. Whatever you believe in, I don't care. You can believe in whatever you want, but we need to come together for the sake of the race of the people. Unless our race is going to get diminished, demolished. I mean, yeah.
Our organization mission statement is crafted in alignment with Malcolm X's Organization of Afro-American Unity, where he calls for reconnection of brothers and sisters. He calls us Afro-Americans, right? Not African. African-American.
I'm okay with the other term.
No,
Yeah.
no, I know, but I'm saying African American is an ethnicity, right? We're Africans placed in America, so we're American Africans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Afro American is the term for Africans in the diaspora in all of the Americas, meaning North,
Okay.
South. So the Organization of Afro American Unity was to reconnect all the descendants on the Western Hemisphere back to the motherland through trade and communication, because that connection was intentionally severed, which is what Pan Africanism seeks to do. Kwame Nkrumah said, Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael said, Pan Africanism is an objective, not a movement. You know, Pan Africanism
Yes.
is an overall objective to unite us all. So that's really what B1 Initiative. That's what our mission statement is about. It's just reconnecting us, because now we have the phones, man. I can sit here and talk to a brother and sister on the continent. Our ancestors would have dreamed of this. They landed on American shores. They never thought they would ever talk to another African again. You know, they were told that they were a color. The language was taken from them. The customs was taken from them. They didn't, and so now here we are in this privileged day and age where we could just talk to each other on the phones and use the resources from Africa stolen and weaponize it to be for the betterment of our people, including those in the Congo. So, that's what we do.
Like Marcus Messiah Garvey is who I follow, and what people don't know about Marcus Messiah Garvey, he was actually a Christian, and the reason why people didn't know he was a Christian because he wouldn't lead with the movement of Christianity, he led with the movement of Pan-Africanism. And to me, I think he was like one of the greatest because he had the biggest following ever out of any of them. Remind you, back in that day, it was no social media, but he had the biggest follower, and he actually was successful. He even had his own ships and all that. You know, but the unfortunate thing is the African government was corrupt at the time when he was trying to come to the continent, so he never got an opportunity to go there. But unfortunately, we have our own little inner workings that we have to work on because although E.D. Du Bois did a lot of good work for the community, he also helped sabotage him, and he also apologized for it later. You know,
Yeah.
so and remind you, Marcus Messiah Garvey. Malcolm X's dad was a Pan-African. Malcolm X's dad followed Marcus Messiah Garvey. Later down the line, Malcolm X started acting like a Garveyite. And then when you look at Martin Luther King, his last days, he visited Malcolm Messiah's grave before he died, and then he started walking in the line of a Garveyite.
Yeah, he realized that he put his people in a burning house.
Yep. That statement is when you listen to some of his last days of his speeches, because he had way more than what they show. But if you go on YouTube enough, you'll find enough speeches out there. And I'm sitting there like, I thought I was listening to Malcolm X. Word.
We're not supposed to we're not supposed to hold hands with our oppressor.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's no disrespect to them. It's just that we need to have self-preservation for ourselves. We need to have self-independence for ourselves
It doesn't.
without any outside influence, because we are the creators of so much that we don't get no credit for. Even the ones here, us black people here in the States, we created so much stuff that we don't get credit for. The
It
cell
doesn't
phone,
help us.
the internet, the helicopter, seatbelt, the light, and even the first car. It was the Do Right Brothers back in I don't know if it was Baltimore, but they even created the first car because they didn't want to walk. So it's like when you look at all the history, it wasn't popular for us to have our own patent, so we had to sell it. So we create it and sell it. Thomas Edison, all he did was buy it from somebody else that looked like us. You know what I'm saying? We made everything everybody benefit from, and that's why it's like them trying to take away history is a very big thing. And I think what you doing, brother, you're doing the most important thing you could possibly imagine as far as teaching history, because we don't want this to repeat, and it could.
Yeah.
They're trying to take we barely had enough history in public school. They try to take the little bits and pieces out of it that we even had in there, whatever impacts we had.
That's
You know,
true.
so
I feel like we should be more like what China is doing right now. How they started benefiting their people. They realized that they were the only way to benefit your people is to uplift your people up, to put your people first, put your land first. They took out
yeah,
America. They took out everything. Now that they're the number one, basically Amazon in the world. You can get all the
yeah.
cheap goods over there. Even though people say it's a dictatorship, whatever that's called, they still taking care of their people and
They put it like this: when you look at China, China is what they say. China is like the 99-cent store, or it's a discount store of the whole entire world.
entire world.
Some of their goods may be cheap, but some will actually hold some quality. Is a 50-50 draw. But nevertheless, the same products that you want to buy here that's so expensive, you can just buy it from China. You just have to wait a long time for it to come. And it's sad to say that you're even reaching out to go to China instead of buying here in America, but the prices is just too competitive over here. And the reason why they do that, because America is a giant capitalist market system, also in abundance with racism. But when you look at it, America is designed to everybody come over here, they make money and they leave and they go back to whatever country they came from. It's sad that it's supposed to be that way. Think about it. All the foods that we eat, all the drugs that's in the food, is not allowed in other countries. You got England, certain things at Kellogg Frosted Flakes is not allowed in England, so they make a different brand of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes in England. But here in the States, they allow all these different preservatives that's not good, because Food and Drug Administration, FDA, is being paid off to whatever they want them to do, they do it. So to me, they don't hold no weight. When they say something is good, and then 20 years down the line, it has irreversible effects on a lot of people, and a lot of people paid for it, it's already too late. All right, you sue the company for what, $2 billion, $3 billion. They made damn near $1 trillion off you already. It's too late. They winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that question. Like, should we care
Yeah.
about Palestine? I was just reading that right now. And then does voting benefit our people? I feel like that's a very crucial question, and it's the right question. Should we care about Palestine? Of course, we should care about everybody's life, but
Human. Yeah.
should we contribute? No, bro. That has nothing to do with us, bro. We gotta take care of our problems because we got our own issues. That's probably worse than theirs, and it's probably that's been going way longer than theirs. So we as people, we gotta worry about our own issue and solve us first for us to be able to help others.
I'm
And
for my people first.
yeah,
I'm for my people first. Everybody secondary. I don't mind being okay for other people, and I feel bad for Palestine. I don't want to see no innocent kids and children, regardless of our circumstances of our history. Because if you're a real human, you're gonna care about all races of people, regardless of what situations y'all have yourselves into. But to be honest with you, my people have been suffering for way too long, so I gotta focus on us first. We gotta focus on us. It's about us. Everybody can come second afterwards.
Haiti been suffering longer from Western imperialism. Congo, Like things going on in Palestine started after 1948. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a worldwide system of oppression where anywhere we go as black people, we black first. When Palestinian people are not on that land that the West wants, nobody's saying, "Oh, let's follow that Palestinian person through my store and make sure they don't take nothing." Nobody's saying, "Oh, I seen a Palestinian person walking down my street." Like they
Yeah.
as soon as they leave Palestine, they look like the Kardashians. So nobody,
Even the war on terror.
yeah, right.
Even the war on terror, they still get better treatment than us. Damn, right?
Look, even when that first question is like super important to me, I love that I love that the information y'all putting out there. But for me, I look at it like it's a big fire, right? What do they tell you about putting out fires? You spray the base. Palestine is at the top, is at the tippy top of the flames. They just the little tips of the flames. You have to spray the base of the fire in order to fix the issues. So for me, support my people, that's going to be the start of the domino effect to help everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, just Congo alone, and what they supply to the world in terms of lithium and many other resources.
Coltane.
Well, like, if we could just right now it's just about awareness. So we're not even at the point where we can boots on the ground go help them. But because right now no one even knows. Like the first step of activism is just to raise awareness. Like, hey, do y'all people in Africa don't even know what's going on in Congo? So right now we have awareness, but I'm just saying if the goal of freeing the Congo were to happen, were to actually be realized, then Congolese people would have sovereignty in their own land and over their own resources. They would have a stabilized government that could now tax whoever they wanted to tax for coming to get what's theirs. So now they can say, you know what? We don't like the way you're treating Haiti. We don't like the way you're treating brothers and sisters in America. The price of lithium just went up 50 times. Sanctions on the United States. You see what I'm saying? They can't do that now because they keep the government. The United States keeps the government fighting so that there's no stable government to tax them or raise a tariff or anything like that. So it's like if we were to just free the Congo, it would make it a lot harder for the U.S. to oppress everywhere else. The military couldn't afford to do nothing without lithium. What's a lot of everything, all the technology that they using to oppress everybody else would get cut off, and that's just with the Congo alone. Imagine about the iridium in Haiti. The children working in other places in the East and West Africa. So it's like all this stuff that's going on. It's like if we free our people, everyone else benefits. So why are we worried? If you want to do what's best for Palestine, do what's best for your people.
That's true.
Else is on our shoulders. When we stand up, they all rise. That's how.
And not for nothing, even when I look at some of the Palestine, and let's be real here, when you look at some of them look like some of your family members. It's sad. It's sad because I can see some of my family members and some of those people over there and stuff like that. And it's like, at some point, we I don't mind helping anybody, but like I said, we have to stop being a society of individuals. We got to get past the materialism. We got to stop buying money and becoming broken. And our thing is, because we have self-hatred, we have to buy all these little items and gadgets and these little clothing to give us self-worth. We don't feel we worth much, because if we felt we worth a lot, we wouldn't buy all this stuff, especially with oppressors' names on it, like Lewis. I'm not going to even put names out there because I don't want you to, this is an excellent show. I don't want to get it flagged, but you understand what I'm saying. All these people that don't give a crap about us, and they said it time and time again, they so cocky since they got billions and billions of dollars from us over us buying their product, and they told us how they feel about us buying their product, and we still buy their product. Who can we be mad at ourselves? We gotta work on our psyche.
And then, second of all, the blacks in Palestine get treated worse by the Palestinians. I was
Hmm.
watching a documentary
It's true.
about
They got a black population
Palestinians, yeah,
everywhere.
how the Palestinians was treating the black Palestinians. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So why would I be like free Palestine when, you know what I'm saying, we got a bunch of countries that, you know what I'm saying, dark as me, need to be free, need help. So Palestine is like super last on my list as far as help for freedom. I'm being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? We got
Respect.
Congo, we got Haiti, we got ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go through the whole list, but I'm just being real with you. If they racism towards us, why would I
Hmm.
support some people that's hating the ones that's already over there? You know what I'm saying? Because I watched that documentary, how the black people over there was saying how they get, spit on and rock stone on them, and they stay in the worst part of town. You know what I'm saying? They can barely feed their children and everything else. So why would I be on here talking about free Palestine, free Palestine? Nah, man. Treat the black people over there like they Palestinians, and then I think about, let's talk about free Palestine. Y'all not even united over there with us. So why would I even, like I said, y'all last on my list, period, point blank. And I ain't trying to be
So,
racism or nothing like
so
that.
sorry,
But
hold
y'all
on.
last on my list, point blank. It's other nations that look just like me that need help. So my money is going
Omar,
towards them.
right,
Whatever I can
Omar.
do is going towards them and not Palestine. Period.
No, 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 no,
Respect.
States
brother
government,
I
Omar.
respect.
yep, is sending them all kind of aid and weapons and everything else. So they got nations, the whole Muslim nation sending them stuff. So you know what I'm saying? The Egypt need to deal with that. The UAE, all them
Wait,
other
well, wait,
countries
wait,
need to
wait,
deal
wait.
with
I'm
Palestine. You
sorry,
know.
I'm English. I'm English. I'm part American. I'm part black. I'm part Indian. I'm a mixed English person. You don't get to sit there and behave as the.
I don't know what's going on. Hold on, y'all. We getting too out of order. You normally I have people come up and introduce themselves before they start talking. I gave brother Kurt here a pass because we could see his camera,
I
but
apologize.
Turn mine on. I'm sorry. Let me turn mine on for you. Okay, you say press the camera. I mean, press this, and
um,
then
Kerry, you are new, so give us your age, race, and pronouns first, okay? Age, race, and pronouns, please.
okay.
My age is 31. My pronouns are he, him, and my race is mixed. I guess that's the best way to put it.
It's not a race.
No, no.
Oh,
Do you have African blood in you?
It's difficult because I'm mixed. Like I
No, no.
said,
I understand what you said, and I'm mixed as well. But if we
this
want to
is
go
the
by that
point. Like,
definition, do you have African blood in you?
so can I give you what I mix with, and then you can kind of
Okay.
tell me where you're thinking.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm
Yes, sir.
mixed Gypsy,
Okay.
Roma
that's
Gypsy English, and
that's not
then I'm mixed and all Indian.
that's not
I'm
a race.
Okay.
mixed. But this is the
No,
Thank
issue.
no,
This is
no, it's
this
not
is
a race. And you are not the product
why.
of racism. So don't tell me you mixed with all of that. You don't. If you don't know what a race is, then you don't need to be up here.
you. Period.
You're
I
missing the
try to
issue
help
here.
you.
You said like what is my race like specifically, like I'm
You
assuming
are
you
one
mean
person.
specific.
You are designated one race in the social construct, the oppressive social caste system in America.
And this is the issue, bro. You're being a racist,
You are
hateful,
one race.
bigoted man
What we say
who,
on this
hold
platform
on,
ain't gonna harm or hurt anybody.
yes
We
it
don't have
is.
the possession. No, no, no. Hold on a second here. Now you struck a nerve. You
Yeah.
saying he's harming and hurting people. What we talking about right now is about improvement of our race. Now, if you're not a part of our race, all right,
No, no,
in
no,
all
brother,
respect, you could be on
okay, it
here.
is.
And I
You're
ask
not
you
part of
for no.
my
Hold on one second. Hold on one
race.
second. Hold on one second. Hold on
You
one
are
second.
a racist.
I
You just
ask you,
stated it
no, no, no.
yourself.
Racist has
You
position
just
with
put
power.
racist
Prejudice
to
with
it,
power is
just
racism.
like your
Who on this
brother.
platform got power? Who got all this power? One prejudice plus power is racism. So use your words right. I took college. I took English in college.
He jumped off. He just
Don't you
mad.
dare come
He
on here
just
and try to
mad
disrespect
because
this platform.
he just mad because don't nobody want to say free Palestine. That's all that is. Anybody up here talking about free Palestine? Man, we ain't stupid, man. We not our ancestors.
We
We not
gotta
finna
free
fight for
ourselves
other
before we can free
communities.
anybody else.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We not finna keep fighting for other communities, and then when they get it, they step right over us. Nah, that's them days are done. We fighting for ourselves now. Period. Point blank. That's the way I look at it. We should be fighting for ourselves. I'm not against nobody. I don't hate nobody. I'm just not going to your protest, holding up your flag. If it ain't my flag and got to do with my people, I'm at home watching it on TV.
There's no reason to, especially that our people are going through, what we're going through.
You know what I'm saying? And we all on here know what we go through daily basis. Every time we leave our houses, man, we worried about getting bullets in the back of our head by the police. We worried about, we just worried about stuff, man. Our children leave the house, our hearts drop. We hoping that our children make it home. You know what I'm saying? And we know, I know for a fact, I got good kids in college. You know what I'm saying? Ain't never been in trouble, but they ain't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? That white tee, you know what I'm saying, dude that had that bad date, you know what I'm saying, rough him up or do something to him. So that's not gonna stop nothing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to be hateful towards no group of people. I'm just saying we need help too.
Yes.
Period. Point
And
blank.
we shouldn't be considered racist because we want to help our group first.
A
You ever
group of
notice
people. That's it.
every other
Everybody else
race
do
help
it.
themselves first, but when it comes to us
Everybody.
wanting to help ourselves, we got to be racist and want to be able to be exclusively for ourselves first. Why is that?
Everybody else do
So
it, so why
war,
we can't do it? I mean,
yeah.
everybody else do it, why we can't do it? And then when we jump in and help them, what do? They always step over us. They ain't like they just say, okay, the blacks help us, let's get them a lifting hand. Let's throw a hand back down to them. No, they step over us and keep going. What what they say, I was watching this thing where they say, and in the black community, the dollar stayed 5 to 10 minutes in the black community. In the Asian community, it goes around at least 20 times
23,
before it
20
leave their
sometimes, yep.
community.
23 days, yep.
You know what I'm saying? And
And
other
Jewish
communities,
communities,
same
yep.
thing. So come on, man. We need to help ourselves first, bro, before we start
Yes.
helping other people out. That was our ancestors that did that. We
Yep.
not them.
And
We on
anybody
a
quick to
whole
help
different
any other
mind frame of thinking right now. A whole
yeah.
different mind frame of thinking. All of us are.
Anybody quick to help any other race before your own is just self-hate. If you know
That's
what your
it.
history, if you know your history and you quick to help other people before you help yourself and your peoples, it's a self-hate that you gotta focus on the psychology and fix it. You gotta work on yourself.
Yep.
Maybe we need counseling. Yo, we've been through some stuff as people. And I'm not talking about no during slavery. And I'm getting sick and tired of people saying 400 years ago. It's not 400 years ago, it's 150 something years ago. It's like 159
It,
years ago. It's
it's not
not
even say
400 years ago.
159 years
No,
ago.
we could say
It's
50 years. We
still
could say six.
happening
We could
to
say
this
50 something years
day.
ago when we had all our rights,
But
supposedly,
but
quote
but
unquote.
but what I'm saying is, it's still happening to this day, dude.
No,
We
and
are
that's the
getting
point I'm
trauma
trying to
every
make. When they
day.
try to throw
Every day
slavery in
we wake
there.
up, just like they found 250 bodies behind Jackson. I bet you all them
Oh,
bodies are
yup.
black. So we need
The
help,
prison,
man.
right?
We need it now. I'm not
You talking
talking
about the
about 100
prison, right?
years ago.
You talking
Ain't
about the
nothing
prison, the
stopped.
bodies. They found the bodies behind the prison.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Jackson, Mississippi.
crazy. Oh my God. Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So come on, bro. We need the help now, man. We don't need
yes.
it later. Man,
Yes.
we need if we are gonna go through some psychiatrists or therapists or whatever, we need it now.
Yes.
We don't
Yeah.
forget 150 years ago. What about what's going on now?
Yeah.
We can
Nah, I
barely
was only
ride
saying
down the
because a
street
lot of
in a
people keep
nice
on saying
car
400
without
years
getting
ago.
pulled over. You know what I'm saying? We can barely
Yeah.
ride down the street in a nice car that we paid for, we worked for, we chose to buy with our own money, not drug money, not stolen money, work the money, and you know what I'm saying? And we still can't even have fun doing that without getting looked at funny.
That's true.
Come on, man. I'm like I said, I'm not helping no other races out except for my own
Thank
people.
you.
People
To
that
all
look
the
Thank
like
you.
people that
you,
say,
them.
can y'all
People
hear
that look
me?
like the host, people that
I
look
hear
like
you.
you, my
I hear you,
brother,
brother.
people that look like me, people that look like the sister at the bottom. I mean, y'all my number one thing. Y'all my number one concern. Period.
To
Point
all the
blank.
Me
people
too.
that say 400 years ago, I tell them it's been happening for over 400 years. You know
Way
what I'm
over
saying?
Yep.
400 years. It's still
Yep.
happening to this day.
You see what I'm
They
saying?
still got the same badges that they gave for the slave catchers. The
And
only
some
difference is
yo,
they say
you see
police
some of the
officer. They don't
badges,
say
yeah.
slave catcher. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You
Nothing has
look
changed.
at the badges when you get pulled over. When you look at the
Yeah,
badges, some of the badges almost have some of the same emblems from
as the
back in the day
slave
when it was
catcher
slave
badges.
catchers.
Right.
Yes, it sure do.
Re-
So I pay attention to little stuff like that, bro.
remember,
So you know what
after
I'm
after
saying?
they freed us, they made sure that they created statewide prisons afterwards because they knew they was gonna give us jobs. They knew that we didn't have they was gonna give us the ability to be productive in society. So
Yep.
they knew they was gonna lock up a lot of us, and they created those vacancy laws where they know that if you just have no job, that's considered arrest. If you do
How
this,
you
that's considered
arrest a
arrest.
man for not
Little
having
stuff.
for walking around looking for a job?
Yes.
I
That's
mean, come
considered a
on,
punishable
man.
offense by 10 years and plus. You know
You
what I'm
know what I'm
saying?
saying?
And
And
then you
then you
go
send
back
him
on the
back to the
farm
same
doing
farm
slavery
that he was a
stuff.
slave on. You send
Think
him back
about
to
it.
the same farm where
Yeah.
he was a slave on.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yes.
I mean, no, like I said, no false against Martin Luther King. I love the brother, but I think he should have said, personally, we should have fought for, we keep our stuff, but fair, but equal, but we can stay apart. Y'all want y'all restaurants? We keep our restaurants because we had black businesses. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It was the first two brothers that owned what? The bus. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
Yeah.
That
brother.
ran the bus. So let's keep our businesses. Let's just be equal but fair. That's all. That's what we should have been fighting for, not to integrate with y'all. Because
You know what
integration
it
messed us
is?
up.
He realized at the end, and it's sad to say that on his last days, he realized that he made a mistake
Yeah, he
by
did say,
integrating.
yeah,
Because
he did say,
remember,
I
once
brought,
integrate, yeah, he said, burn a building and all that old
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
But here's the thing that's sad about it. Once he realized that integrated, and once they did the whole situation and integrated, we could go in the
Okay.
school system. They still had a lot of black businesses, but because they think white ice is colder, you heard this term before. Brother Dr. Umar said it. White ice is colder. They went towards the white man and start going to his. I want to say white man because I don't want to get flagged no more. I'm gonna say not no more. That's it. We could say these people. They went towards them because they figure their ice is better over there, even though they're getting the same ice from the same people. And
Yep,
that's what kind of like crippled a lot of the black businesses because
yep.
once they was able to
Right.
integrate, everybody ran out the neighborhood and went towards there to go towards it.
We should have
Because
been fighting
unfortunate,
for
the
the
love affair
same
for
books. We
the
want the
people.
same books in our school. And we'll stay in our own schools. We ain't got to integrate in y'all schools. We can stay in our own schools, but give us the same books, give us the same material that the white schools got. That's all we asking for, the
I don't
same
even want their
material.
books. How about we make our own? I
Yeah,
don't want their books at all.
to be honest with you, that would have been even a whole lot better. Let's learn about our
Right?
own history.
To be
But you
honest,
know why
they stole
you
all
know
the
why
books
as
in Africa.
you know why at some point they wanted to do the integration because they realized how even though with the limited of materials and opportunities that the black schools had, the kids were still learning a better education and getting smarter.
Smartly,
And it's
yep,
like, oh no, we can't let them get smarter than us.
yep.
Maybe we might have to integrate so we could
Hmm.
take some of them and put them on our side and indoctrinate them.
Yeah.
I
When you think of the doll study, think about it. When they have the white doll and the black doll
I seen,
right in
yeah,
front of each other.
yeah,
We know that everybody heard that. I don't even have to say the whole speech of it, but everybody heard of it before.
yeah.
And that's just something to think
I
about. It's a
seen that.
psychology game right there.
Yeah.
And
So,
then, yeah,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. They did a number on our people. Even to this day, we still got people that's cooning and I just don't get you, brother. Stop cooning now, man.
they gave,
I'd
you know
rather
what it
turn
is?
down $1 million if you give me a role to be a coon on TV.
No, no, no. Can't keep saying that word, brother.
Oh,
I'd
don't
rather
say
be
that word, I
known for
get
turning that
flagged.
$1 million down for not taking that coon role
Yeah.
No,
than
no.
taking.
Anwar, you got to censor yourself.
Yeah,
You are
you
TikTok.
can't say that word. That word
Oh,
will
my
get us
bad, my
flagged.
bad, my
Yeah.
bad. Well,
Yeah.
I'd rather get $1 million for not taking that road that's degrading my people. I'd rather be known for that than taking a road and degrading my people.
Well, here's the thing. Once they start allowing us to get financial opportunities where we start making money, now they use us against our own people to say, "Oh, I made it. Why you didn't do it?" When they know that everybody has different opportunities in the hood, that was a way to make us fight against each other even more and made us more a society of individuals. They did
Yeah.
it during the Willie Lynch time, where they put the light skin against the dark skin, colorism, and they
Yep.
put the old against the young. That was to keep us divided because they
The
understand
man
the
against the
best
woman.
military strategy.
Yep.
Yeah, the best military strategy is to do what? Divide and conquer.
Divide and
If
conquer.
you keep
Yeah.
us divided, we always gonna conquer. Because if
Yeah.
we unite, oh man, we unite everybody. This whole entire world is gonna be revamped
That's
if
why
we
when I
was
be
united.
talking to Africans on this thing, I be trying to tell them, just imagine if we all hooked up. I'm talking about Haiti, Jamaica, all of us hooked up. Who would be able to stop us? Who would be able to say something to us?
Mm-hmm.
Who? Name me one nation that will be able to even say something to us.
Nah, not at
Nobody.
all. We make
Nobody.
all these bombs that's being made. It comes from the countries that we possess, that we don't have access to the resources because we being colonized. So
Yeah.
when you look at
Congo.
the Congo been having wars for like 30, 40 something years. It's nothing new
Yeah.
under the sun. It's just that we starting to hear about it now. And
Mm-hmm.
I tell everybody, if you can't do anything, just take a trip to the continent. I've been out there. I've been a few different places in the continent, and
Hey,
let me tell you something. The
brother,
reason
I'm
why
going
African
next.
Hey,
people,
I'm going next
I'm gonna
month. I already
I'm
got
gonna
my
tell
ticket.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
tell
go
you
next
why
month.
African people don't know what's going on with other sides of African people, because the continent
Hold on.
itself
Have you hit
was
Mike? Mike, have you
let
hit
me
the
explain.
native?
Let me explain this real quick, and this is why I see even over there a lot of them brainwashed too. But let me explain
Yeah.
because I'm a historian. When you look at this big piece of land, this is all Africa, right? Now, at some point, it was all just different tribes, but they all was together. When the colonizers came by, they pieced it there, pieced it there, pieced it there, gave the names for half these countries that have the name now, and they pieced it little by little. And when they did that, they made it so in order to cross into this country, you have to have some type of
Nigeria.
visa, some type of thing. So why the hell my neighboring country with my people that look just like me, I have to have all kinds of proper paperwork to be able to go into this country? The
Yeah.
colonizers did that on purpose to keep them
Yeah.
divided.
Keep us
That's why they were so
divided.
successful at keeping.
And then it was an African girl that told me, right, when she came over here, they used to take them in this back room and show them this videotape. So if you see like a black man walk by your house like 3 times or more, call the cops, and then on the video they would show the cops would come and arrest the black man because he was no good. And then she said she would see videos of us. All we did was we was drug dealers and pimps. So don't talk to a black guy because he might try to pimp you out. She was telling me all the stuff that they were showing them before they came over here to America. They were showing them. And she said she was trying to uncolonize her mama because her mama had that thought, like, when you go over to America, don't mess with them black Americans. And she was telling her mama, it's not like that. It's not like that. What they showed us, because they did a sleight of hand. They showed us flies, and they didn't have no shoes on. And they was dirty. They didn't have no food. And they showed them that we was drug dealers and pimps and gangsters, and all we wanted to do was pimp out ladies, and we was no good. You know what I'm saying? So they try to do a sleight of hand. But a lot of the young ones is seeing that because they coming over here, they beating us, and they saying, nah, it ain't like what they showed me on that video. It ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a few African friends. You know what I'm saying? So
Me too.
No,
Yeah.
you
that's
know,
very true. Cause my
I
dad was there.
sponsor a lot of them. Come over here. A lot of them, I sponsor them. Once I know they're about their A game, because I told them I had a few young cats that's in the States right now that's successful businessmen. They learn one thing I can say about even Nigeria. Nigeria is big on education. Say what you say about the fraud and all that going over there. Those people all about education. All of them
But
about education.
Nigeria,
Even a bum in the
Nigeria,
street is about
Nigeria.
education.
Man,
Hello.
Nigeria
Hey,
Nigeria is
Kurt.
also
is one of
I,
colonized.
Huh?
All right, we
Was
gotta
also
yeah, we gotta get to
made
the
by
next guest.
colonizers.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, Leighton. We gotta go in order. We gotta get some order back. Appreciate you though. We got a lot of knowledge, and y'all give me a chance to eat my food, man. Thank you, because I had no reason to interrupt that. Like there was a lot of gems, all facts. Y'all brothers knew the assignment when y'all came up here.
I watch you all the time, brother. I really do.
Listen.
This like I think it's my second time ever joining it, but you were so busy I didn't get a chance to talk the last time.
Hello,
I seen you a lot of videos you got
Yeah,
too.
hello.
I see you on live
Appreciate
a
Do you know
lot.
the name Nigeria come from a colonized company?
Leighton, all right, I'm about to come to you next, Leighton. Just hold on with us.
Thank you, my
But
God.
yeah,
I love.
appreciate y'all.
All right, man. Straight love and keep what you and keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Absolutely.
Especially with the black love and then the black unity, because the more we pump it out into these youngsters' head, the more and more they gonna get it. Because the more and more they got, shoot 'em up, bang bang from rap music. That's what they got in their head. Now we telling them not to listen to that crap because it ain't nothing but crap. It sound all the same. I mean, you had to have talent back in the days in order to get on the rap scene. You had to have talent to get on the rap scene back in the 80s and in the early 90s. And then that's when they came with NWA. Now everybody was shoot 'em up, bang bang, and that's what the kids was getting in their head. You know what I'm saying? So the more we pump this out, the more and more these youngsters gonna get this in their head, and they're gonna be like, okay, I see the older ones is changing. So we need to start, thinking like they thinking and doing what they doing, because they follow us. No matter how we want to try to deny it, the youngsters follow us. They follow us. They follow us, OGs. They follow us. They follow everything we do. They truly do. Because a lot of them ain't got daddies at home. So they looking for that male figure that I can look up to. And find a positive one, you know what I'm saying? That can really impact this life, you know what I'm saying, to go the right way and not the wrong way. So, I just wanted to say that, but you know what I'm saying? I love your stuff, my brother. I truly do. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna always keep watching you and
Absolutely.
supporting you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Peace and love to everybody on the panel. I love all my sisters, all my melanated brothers and sisters. I love all y'all.
Absolutely. One love, brother. Appreciate you.
Okay, one.
All right. We're gonna go to the next guest. Before we do, Leighton, Timothy, did you want to say something?
Yeah. You were talking about Nigeria. Nigeria. Do you know that the country Nigeria is named after a company?
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you heard of this story that they want to deport all the Palestinians to Africa.
Yeah, that's a conspiracy theory till I
That's what
see
the
more.
Israeli government is talking to Congo and all those to taking the Palestinians.
Yeah, but I'm saying
What's going on here?
it's a theory until I see it. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen
That's really the kicking the people out of their land and taking it, and
that doesn't sound realistic to
That
me.
was a Western Median thing. You know them. They like to twist things off.
Did they say it? I gotta find the news report. I hold my platform. Let me understand. Let me explain something to you, Leighton. This is not just like a little, TikTok just scrolling through and people are just talking. Like I have a whole platform and I have a lot of integrity with what I co-sign. I can't just co-sign that. I have to actually see
I
it.
know what you're saying, but I'm just saying if you heard of that story, but it's serious if it's true,
It doesn't make any sense to me. In my knowledge of and understanding and studying the oppressor and how they work, I know that Israel does take part in the exploitation of Congolese resources. I understand that.
Yes.
And I understand the
And you
connection
remember
between Israel. I
the
understand the connection between Israel and the United States. However, it does not make sense to me. I can't connect putting millions of people on a plane to go to Africa like that. I don't think that would. I don't see how that would be actually possible.
Remember, also Israel was also involved in the apartheid atrocity in South Africa as well. The same people
Yeah, I
as
know.
well. They were there as well.
I know. Yeah.
So you know, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised what's happening now. You know, so you know, same people, but they're all the same anyway. They're all the same. It's all the same. They don't like dark skinned people, basically. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know.
All right.
Even the blacks are suffering in Palestine as well. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We were talking about that earlier.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then, that's on my view, man. You know, but
All right.
I'm not really interested in their business. You know, but I'm just worried about what you know, what they're trying to do. You know.
Yeah, I'm going to do more research into where this rumor got started.
Yeah.
You know, I have a whole organization. We do research like this, so we're going to dig into it. I haven't found a verifiable source of this
But I
intel,
wouldn't.
so
But if it's true, I wouldn't be surprised. Is them? You know, doing these things. You
mhm.
know.
I wouldn't be surprised at the connection, but I would be surprised that someone's idea is to fly them to the Congo. Like that's just, to me, there's so many places they could fly them between the
Yeah.
Middle East and the Congo. Why would they
Why not
choose?
Saudi Arabia? You see
You
what I'm
know,
saying?
right? Yeah, like why not Egypt right next door? Why can't Egypt just open their borders? Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot of questions. Like why would they put them on a plane? All like that, just that would take so many millions of billions probably of dollars and resources, and it would just be hard. Like I don't see how that could
Yeah.
logistically work.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay then. All right.
All right, Timothy, what's good, brother?
Hey, what's going on, King?
Hey, I'm chilling, man. Go ahead, give us a word, man. What's going on with you?
Uh, Not much. Just well, I guess I'll just start off by answering some of the questions. And let's see, should we care about Palestine? So ultimately, I always try to approach it from more of a historical perspective. So, like, I definitely do 100% appreciate the Palestinians who have shown solidarity with people of African ancestry, especially during like the Black Lives Matter movement, because there definitely was a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, does that mean that we completely forget the what is commonly known as like the Arab slave trade, well, the East African slave trade? Should we just forget about that and the fact that that's still going on today, and that part of the regions of the world are that are controlled by, or at least that are Arab controlled nations, are still engaging in the movement of black bodies from Africa to those regions to work under forced labor conditions? No, that doesn't mean that we should forget that at all. Should we forget the tens of millions? I think it's conservatively estimated 60 million that were unalived during the, I would say from 700 AD all the way up until, well, modern day, as far as we could tell, for the East African slave trade, like the Arab slave trade. No, we shouldn't forget about the fact that there's 60 million unalivings that took place. Like, it's definitely what we need to do is we have our own genocides that are going on right now, and we have our own situations that are being deliberately antagonized, or at least essentially these mass unalivings are being deliberately instigated or deliberately promoted by
Mm-hmm.
outside powers. So for us to say, okay, well, we know that there's millions of our own people that are being unalived right now, but yeah, let's go have a conversation about the 20,000 that's over here.
Mm-hmm.
I see that our hearts are very big, and it can be very it's definitely 100% something that I genuinely enjoy about our people. But at the same time, we've been conditioned to completely disassociate ourselves with having that same level of empathy and like push forward for our own. And so yeah, we definitely need to be focusing on ourselves more. um
Absolutely.
does voting benefit our people? I mean, very minute and small victories, but actual lasting, impactful change, no. Because I mean, they voted the Emmett Till law into action, but there was absolutely nothing that was done to arrest the woman who was responsible for Emmett Till being unalived.
Right.
And she passed away with surrounded by family and living her entire life. So there's
Ridiculous.
Yeah, if there's no action behind a law being passed that you voted into being passed, then what's the point of engaging in all of these efforts to make these small victories?
Mm.
And does the left or right care more about Black progress? Well, we obviously know that the right is very much so publicly talking about very anti-Black policies and procedures that they're trying to implement. And the left is more, they're very much so still trying to do the same thing, promoting anti-Blackness, but they're doing it covertly. So
Mm.
the underlying goal is always still to maintain YT supremacy, but still at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, the left seems like they're willing to engage in conversations, but at the same time, it's like, all right, we already know what their ultimate agenda is, which is to maintain the structure of YT supremacy, but to make it look like, oh, well, we listen to you guys, and well, I mean, we'll have conversations about reparations. Let's chat it out and let's have a couple more votes. Like, no, we see what we're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah, I'll land with that.
I need y'all to get active in the tapping. Why aren't we not at 50K? Tap, tap, tap. Power tap on the damn screen.
Appreciate you, D. Hey y'all, yeah, let's get some more likes. We got 20K. Oh, that's what's going on. Yeah, let's get the likes up. I'll turn them back on. When we get to 50K likes, as we sit here, just keep tapping like so we can get more guests to come up here and speak. In the meantime, if you want to comment, feel free to subscribe.
Your mic went out.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. I thought my mic was charging all night, and then it turns out like they was not charging. So I'm gonna give it a minute to charge. But appreciate you, D, and y'all keep tapping like. I'll turn the comments back on when we get to 50K. Carlos, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please. Carlos, you're muted.
Can you hear?
Yeah, we hear you. Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Okay. I'm black, mixed. My father was white, but born in Angola, and he was more black than me. I'm 34, and I'm a man.
It's so weird, right? When people bring up their parents, when we just ask them what their race was.
No, this I brought my father just to say this. Give me just 1 second.
You said your white father was more black.
Yeah.
That was extremely weird.
I'm going to explain. Give me just 1 second, and you.
This. I mean, do you take pills for what you like? Are you is like? There's no
No,
explanation to this. Like, what do you mean? You're gonna explain that? That's the
he
most
was
ignorant
born
thing
in
I've ever
Angola.
heard. You just said a white man was more black than you.
Let me explain why I say that he was more black than me. He was more
2
African
more
than me.
pause. 2 more.
Because he was like Nelson Mandela, he was in a war to free Angola. He was 17 years tortured for Angola.
So what? That don't make
He
you black, man. What's wrong with you, bro? That's what I'm trying to say. You sound ridiculous. What the hell are you talking about? You gotta be tortured to be black now? Do you think white
No,
people
no,
get
no,
treated
no,
like
no.
black
I'm
people?
not saying that. I'm not saying that. He had every reason to do what everybody does for Africa. Let's make a song, let's say this, let's say that. He not only had me, married my mom, and died for his country.
Black people.
Let me say
Don't
one
protect
thing.
your own damn people from doing inhumane things on African soil, which they had no business being there in the first place. So what are you
But
talking
that was his family. He teach me like my mother to defend my country, and my country is not only black. It's Angola, it's Africa.
Two
And
more.
all my
Yeah, it's
life,
two
my
more pause.
34 years, I did the same in another country.
Yeah, send them because they'll
Let me
play.
tell you why.
Two more.
Let me tell you why. I came to Portugal. I came to Portugal. Yeah, I'm gonna answer the questions
Okay. Guess
We
what,
already
that
Carlos?
you have here.
respect. Everybody
Guess
should
what, Carlos?
I came here. I came to Portugal, and the people,
Bye,
the black
Carlos.
people.
Bye.
do myself in.
First class fight to hell. First class fight to hell. Woo! Hello, and welcome in, you guys. Since we had to get rid of all that poonery and buffoonery, you guys, I'll just do a quick reset. I'm a little busy today, so I might be in and out, but I just need you guys to know. I need you to tap, 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 power tap that screen, you guys. Tap it up right now. Thank you, me, myself, and I. You are greatly appreciated for those paws. Yeah. You guys, we need to get to 50K. Make sure you share the live. Invite your friends, your frenemies, and your enemies. Y'all see the buffoonery we have up here. So make sure you send the pause. And at the end of the day, make sure you subscribe here and on YouTube at Brother Legends Live. You guys, make sure that you're also joining the Discord with b1initiative.org, where you can learn to be great. Y'all, we still have the Cash App up. Bringing down Babylon. We're still taking donations. There's tons of different projects that need to be funded, and we need your help. Send $1, send 1,000. Hell, send $2. Send something. We good with that. But until then, I'm tapping out. Y'all tap up. 50K, let's go.
Appreciate you, Queen D. That was ridiculous, man. I'm baffled by that man response. That was wild. Whenever they bring up their parents, when we ask them their race, it's going to get weird after that. But the way it got weird just now was wild. I mean, it like there's so many parallels you could draw to like slavery and the mixed child of the master that was a man and an enslaved ancestor who sought proximity to his white father. But the father is white, so he's not, and so it's kind of like in this dynamic, this person was saying that the white father, since I can't be white, I'm gonna make the white father black. Like that's what it felt like to me. Like he can't be white, so he gonna tell us that the white father is black. Like he's blacker than me. Like that's the wildest thing. That was pretty wild. That's a lot of love for Massa that he has.
Understand. This is why people find a lot of biracial people problematic for exactly that reason. It's sad.
That was wild. But anyway, y'all, yes, we still taking donations. Bring down Babylon. The updates will be posted in B1 Initiative. As of today, we are officially incorporated. Shout out to everybody in the Discord. We're officially a nonprofit. B1 Initiative Foundation is incorporated as a nonprofit, and we've bought the .coms and .orgs, the domains that we're going to need for our next project. Our first project, which will lead to the creation of the other projects, our Pan-African, Afrocentric Wikipedia. So we're going to get started on that. We have the domains, and we're also in the process of filling out the patent application. That's going to take a little bit more time, maybe about a week or two, just for us to finish building the website, because the patent application requires certain things that we gotta show them. So I'm gonna wait for some filings to finish. But either way, we are well on the way. Yep, shout out to me, myself, and I. But also, let's not censor me, myself, and I. A lot of brothers and sisters also sent in their hard-earned bread, and we appreciate that as well. I hope you're all in B1 Initiative, in b1initiative.org, the Discord, so that you can get the updates as we do them. You're going to see this in real time. A shout out to Jatem as well. I believe, she sent some too. A lot of the brothers and sisters that are in my lives consistently contributed, and I want to show y'all step by step what we're doing with your donations. So please join b1initiative.org and check out the community updates section in the Discord to be up to date with exactly what we're doing. And I need contributors. So I don't need y'all yet, but I need y'all to volunteer. I need y'all to line up and start lining up, because me and my wife have already been compiling the data to start the website. So we already have a rough draft. We're gonna create the system to publish it, and then once it's up there, I'm gonna need contributors to be active on the web page as well to update it. It's a Wikipedia site, but it's for Pan-Africans. It's a Wikipedia site for Afrocentric people. We're gonna vet everyone that contributes, and we're gonna start to do that. And then also we're gonna update B1Initiative as well .org. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go to the. Actually, we don't got no more guests. Anybody else want to come up here and answer these questions? I might change the prompt, to be honest. We had two brothers come up here and break everything down the way I wanted to break it down, to be honest, while I was eating. You know what I'm saying? Send the postcards out. Absolutely. Hashtag free Congo. Because our company or nonprofit is focused on utilizing technology to empower the African diaspora through education and information. We're also going to have to consistently have resources and ways that brothers and sisters can learn about what's going on in the Congo, as well as donate and focus our attention there as well. We're going to weaponize the resources stolen from the motherland to unify and empower the descendants and the people of the motherland. So that's the whole goal with that. We got somebody else who wants to come up. TJ Baba, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
How you doing, bro? I'm from Africa, but I live here in the States. I'm a Nigerian, so if I have to tell you what is going on in Africa generally, there's a lot of genocide going on in different African countries. But I can't blame the Western world, and I'll give you the reason why I can't blame the Western world. Even if they are behind anything, I can't blame them. And if you want me to break it down, I can break it down to my own knowledge. Like I said,
Taught you not to blame them or something?
yeah, I'm not. I have to blame my people. So when I said I'm not blaming the Western world for lack
All right,
of,
hold on. You do this. What you're about to do
yeah,
is not a hot take. It's not going to be the flex you think it is. I'm warning you now. You might want to maybe not get in the teacher seat and might want to get in the student seat before you start blaming black people for their own oppression. I don't care if they're in Africa. I don't care if they're in America. I don't care where they at.
yeah. The reason that's why I said if you want me to break it down, I'll break it down to my own understanding level. Why I can blame the white man.
Kumar said, shut the F up when you hear love talking. This is love talking right now. I'm trying to hold my hand out, brother. You don't want to go down this path. I'm telling you now, you don't want to go down that path. You don't want to do it. Not from Nigeria. You don't want to do it. You don't want to.
I'm a Nigerian, and I'm not even Nigerian. So
My was Nigerian.
okay, that's the first name given to me by the British. That's the first name.
Okay, all right. So you know that.
Yeah, I know that.
Even with that knowledge, for you to say you cannot blame the West
Yeah.
for the Western oppression of African people
Yeah.
is wild, bro. I'm gonna let you, if you want to continue to be hard headed and go down that route, you can go ahead. But it's not going to be the flex you think it is. I'm warning you.
That is why I said I can break it down the way I know it. I'm a Nigerian. I was born and brought up, raised, spent 25 years before I left there. So if I have to blame the first on the British, this is 400 years of slavery. After the slavery, they left us behind. But who did they put in power? They put the stupid ass black fellow of mine in the power. And you are misleading us since up to the. I'm not Nigerian, like I said. Nigerian name given to those people who live in that trash show is a first name in the first place. because before the British came down there, everybody are being kingdom of their self. I'm a West African known from other people. I'm a Yoruba. So I know where I am. I know my culture. I know my heritage. What is Nigerian? So I can break it down the way I want it. So if I have to blame the British, the Western, for my own stupid black leader, for 63 years of Nigerian existence on this planet after the independence, there's nothing to point to. So do you want to tell me that it's the West that tell you that, oh, you shouldn't have a standard electricity? It's the West that tell you that, oh, your people shouldn't have healthcare? It's the same wealth that tell you that you can steal the money that belongs to your people and bring it down here. Come on, dude.
King, what they do is they forcibly remove any person that would have potentially been of benefit to the people of African ancestry in that region, and they destabilize African civilizations, and then they impose their own puppet leaders, bought and paid for by predominantly European nations, and other nations, of course, participate, but by predominantly people of European ancestry, for the purpose of keeping it in a perpetual state of turbulence within those regions. They don't want Africa to build up and uplift themselves. They don't
want Africa to build up, but when we elect or you force yourself to be in power, listen to me, you are a black man, you force yourself to be in that power. But these people that you been on power on them, are they not your family? Are they not your own people? Why you don't do the needful?
Okay.
No, they don't want
see, again,
listen to your statement.
what they look for is
they
they
don't
look for
want.
puppet leaders that will listen to their whatever type of agenda that they have. They look for individuals that are willingly and easily able to be paid for. That's who they put in power. They don't put they don't put strong African leaders in power. That's not how it operates. They want leaders that will bend over backwards to appease a European agenda while at the same time accepting whatever amount of money that they're willing to toss at them, and then at the same time completely turning a blind eye to the amount of resources that are taken from these African nations and from the African people.
You taking position of office, you know what that position of that office mean. Why are you challenging other that you can do it? Why are you going up front that you want to do it? Why are you going up front that you... Let me tell you something. When you go up front for your people that you want to do something that's going to make a difference, you have to remember that you have to lay your soul down. That's why your name will never be forgot. But nobody wants to die.
Well, King, okay. I want you to turn your eyes and attention to Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Why did Niger feel as though it was important to overthrow who was currently in power? Answer that. Can you answer that? Like, why did
Because the uranium they are getting from Niger, they are getting uranium from Niger over from how many years? For 25 cents or 18 cents. Because who is going to that power? He doesn't have the humanity in himself. He doesn't even thinking of order.
Okay, but he was literally put in place not by Nigerians.
Is that a white man? Is that not the same black man who came from that surface of that ground? Why would being evil to ourselves? Why would being evil to ourselves? You grow up in Niger, but you want to be that president of that country. And you go all around, you want everybody to vote for you, but you know the problem of that country. You don't want to die for that country. So why are you chasing that post?
Well, King, I think you're still not paying attention necessarily to the fact that they forcibly impose these puppet leaders into those places of power. So even though the people, of course, you may not believe
let me
it,
tell
but
you
that
some
is the
African
truth of
country
what's
that if
actually
you have that
happening.
line of range, we will have a little bit better life. The all North African, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Egypt, they are not being controlled by West. But my people from Nigeria, they can run over there and be a slavery there. Nigeria is second mineral.
To be colonized by the
Nigeria is second mineral resources in Africa. Do you know what you're telling me?
King, Egypt literally was colonized by the British.
For every other people. So it's not by.
Egypt was literally colonized by the British at one point. So it's just that alone. Yes, there has been regions of that part of Africa that have very much so been taken over by outside powers, predominantly European. Literally all of Africa was colonized, and the majority of those spaces were going to European rulers.
All African is being colonized, but the set of Africa that works most is West African and Central Africa. West Africa are the most worsted, and Central African. The South African are okay. The East African are even, yeah. The East Africa also. The Eritrea, Sudan, yeah. So the worst in Africa is West Africa, and we are more better than any other African continent there. We are rich. I'm Nigerian. That's the first name.
What's up
First
with you?
name. I'm not a Nigerian, I'm a Yoruba man. That's the first name. So when you go in there to be a president, you have to understand that you are going there to sacrifice yourself for other people. It's your own leadership food that other people is going to look after. It's what you put down as a legacy, what your interest for other
Yes,
people.
and King, the thing is that you have morals when it comes to maintaining that type of position and power. You have those values, but those individuals that they forcibly put as puppet leaders,
They
they
don't.
don't have those values. That's the problem. For you, it comes as common sense, which is good because you are like, hey, listen, if I'm a leader, I'm going to be doing this and I'm going to be doing that. I want to benefit my people, which is a good stance to have. But the problem is that they are not looking for black people like you. They're looking for people they can easily manipulate by tossing money at or just saying, hey, turn a blind eye to your own people suffering so that way we can still, of course, take whatever resources that we want to and continue to exploit these regions of the world, and all you have to do is just accept our money and then just turn a blind eye. The problem is that you have the moral values, but they're looking for people that don't. That's who they're putting in power. So we can't necessarily blame ourselves and blame the general like African people for these things when it's literally not African people who are in control over who's being forcibly put into positions of power. Like that's just how it is.
This is one thing that we have to understand as a leader. You coming from all the way from different grassroots, I don't know, or you've been experienced from abroad and you came back home that you want to come and give back to your community, but you come into power, you understand the problem of that power, why you adding to it, so you don't have interest of them. I can't be telling people that it's white. No, it's the Western world. I'm coming from, okay, I've been here for ages now, and I have a position to cover, to entitle in Africa, in Nigeria. Then I have to go back there and I make that situation worse more than before. No, that's not the Western world. Because you have to be the one to liberate them. Who is going to liberate us? When you keep saying it's the Western world, it's the Western, who is going to liberate us from them? Who is going to save us from them?
That's
Who's going to say enough is enough? And once to
Mali
get
and
my people
Burkina
is okay.
been doing. That's literally what they have been doing. They literally forced out any person of European ancestry from their own nations and lands so that way they can start the process of building up for their own. And they even built, or at least they're in the process of setting up a federation where it's just them.
The
And of course,
same country that we're, I don't know what is going on actually very well in Congo, but I can tell you what is going on in Nigeria, in my own country. I'm not living in Nigeria, my parents are there, but I can tell you the update news, current news or updates happened recently. Many genocide, but nobody cares about. But why would I say it's the Western? When I have person in power, I can't reach up to the
but
to
okay,
the
all right.
Western.
So the mass unalivings are happening, but who is giving them the pews? Who is giving them the armaments necessary to be able to do what they are doing? Who's paying for that? Where is the money flowing from and to? Those are the questions that you need to be asking. Where is the money flowing from and to, and who are the people that are benefiting off of all these resources that are coming up missing? Cobalt doesn't just go nowhere. You don't have tons and tons of cobalt being mined and then it just gets delivered nowhere. Like, no. Where is it going to? Who's profiting off of it the most?
Yeah, but people
If
that
you can
appoint
answer
as a
that
leader, they
question,
know
then you'll
about
find
it.
out who is causing the problem.
But people that we elect as a leader that we put in position, they know about everything. Even if it's mining or they are digging it from our resources, but they are the authority. They are the authority.
Yeah,
So why would you have them in
again,
power?
they only put people that they can control in those seats of power. They don't want a Pan-African leader leading the continent. They don't want Pan-African leadership unifying the countries in Africa. They don't want that. And that is predominantly European powers who don't want that. See, now, living here in America, it gives us a good understanding because we like a good understanding of the oppression and the level of infiltration that they are willing to go to because we live amongst them. We have no choice but to live amongst them. So we know very, very intimately exactly the type of methods and tools that they try to implement. So we're telling you from this perspective here that that is what they are doing. And even with like, cause see, even here we have access to, like, they broadly allow this information to be just readily available to a lot of people, because it's almost like a, hey, we'll tell you that it's happening, but y'all can't do anything about it. So it's almost like a big FU in our faces, to be perfectly frank. But at the same time, the fact that the information is available is a good thing, because it lets us know, oh, okay, we see exactly where the money is flowing. We see the companies that are benefiting from it, and we see the regions of the world that are benefiting from it the most. And at the end of the day, the primary beneficiaries of African trauma and suffering are people of European ancestry.
So then, how will you be able to get out from there? Because when we are saying is this European, after 400 years they have left us behind, and we still complaining about.
No. They haven't left us behind at all. They are still infiltrating African spaces for the purpose of exploiting anything and everything that they can from the continent. The Arab slave trade is still going on. They still take black people from Africa and ship them to different regions of the world and force them into forced labor contract. Like, they still are doing all of these things. Like, that's the reason why Niger didn't want to give any more of its uranium over to France, because France was trying to pay them pennies for it. But they recently are now charging, I think it's 200 euros per, I forget exactly what they meant.
Per gram or whatever. Yeah, they had more expensive money.
But I'm saying, like, the way in which they were able to do that was by tossing them out completely and them managing their own government by themselves. Like, that's, if it wasn't like, all right, if tossing people of European ancestry outside of the continent of Africa wasn't necessary for them to be able to develop, then why was that the very first thing that they did in order to develop?
I would say one blind spot for many continental Africans is, and by that I mean Africans on the continent, is that they don't see the strings as much as we do as Africans in the diaspora. So a lady came up the other day and said, there's two goats. One has a chain on its ankle, and the other one is in a cage. Right? They're both in a cage. One has a chain on its ankle, and the other one doesn't. The one that has the chain on his ankle knows that he's trapped. The other one walks around in the cage and has the illusion of freedom. And a lot of times our African brothers and sisters don't see the puppet master, but they're quick to see the puppet. And I think the knowledge of African continental people that they have about our history, who they are, even he knows that, he's a Yoruba, not Nigerian. All of that rich knowledge you have of your culture and your people, that's what we in the diaspora, we need to learn from you, more about the history of our people. However, I feel like brothers and sisters on the continent need to learn more about the oppressor and how he works from us, because we've lived more closely with them, and in many ways we see the benefits of Western imperialism in Nigeria. There's British military bases to this day in Nigeria. Guess how many Nigerian military bases there are in Britain? It don't go the other way around, because it's imperialism. They still occupy your land. They still control a lot of the resources in your economy, and they determine, whether, if you step out of line, they'll sanction the whole country. If the president decides he wants to do something that isn't in the best interest of the West moving forward, they can sanction your country and turn it into Haiti or Congo if they want to. And so they put puppet leaders in charge to keep the people appeased, and to give them the illusion of democracy. And meanwhile, they continue to do what they want to do to your resources and your land. So we know that's what's going on. But if you're looking at it from the perspective of someone living in Nigeria or someone from Nigeria, you're going to say, well, that person is black just like I'm black. So black people are the problem, and it's much more nuanced than that. Cat Williams just said something where he said race is not where the line is drawn. There's God's side and then there's the other side. And there's a lot of truth to that, because we can't just look at someone and say, oh, because you're black, you're an ally. No. There are black people that will sell you out to massa just as fast as anyone else. Trust me, we in the diaspora know this. We were sold by people that look just like us. So we know. But we know that they did not create or control the means by which they were selling us. They did not even directly benefit, even though they might have benefited in the short term based on selling our ancestors. Long term, they did not benefit at all from what happened. And so we understand that with nuance, the person that should be held accountable the most is those that created the conditions to make slavery and chattel slavery particularly profitable. Who made that profitable? Who told them, if you don't sell us your neighbor, we'll give them pew-pews and make them sell you to us? So who created that fake arms race, as somebody says that? Africa Debunked says when he comes up here, they created an arms race. And so, that's part of what it is. They will use someone that looks like you to continue to oppress you. We also know that here on the off the continent, in the plantation, they would do the same thing to us, our ancestors. The ancestors speak so much through me that I say us, but they would do the same thing to our ancestors on the plantation. They would get the biggest, strongest, the ones that work outside to watch over and whip the ones that were disobedient and weren't working. They would get us to police us. They would get us to watch over us. That's how they do it. That's how they've always done it. So that's that's all that's going on in Nigeria. It's not y'all fault, but it is y'all responsibility to do something about it. And so I hear what you're saying. What are we gonna do from here? Well, I would say, it would take a consciousness shift of the people, and it would take a unity of the people, first of all. So a majority of Nigerians would have to feel the way you do, TJ Baba, in order to make that change. It's like a lot of them. A lot of them will have to get upset, get mad, and start to do something about it, and also be willing to suffer the consequences of pissing off the West. And a lot of people aren't ready for those consequences. They're just going to want some money. They're just going to want to just live good in the short term, not think about the future. And that's what keeps happening. They keep taking the cake, and trying to eat it. That's all they care about.
Good night, brother, my brother Legend and the panel. Let me tell you something. We as black people, right? We are the black nation, right? We sell out each other each and every day, each and every moment, no matter what the consequences may cost. We do not stand up for our nation. We always try to put down our nation. And we must learn to stand up as a nation with each other and join forces with each other to help out each other. We cannot tear down each other. We have to learn to build up each other. This is the 24th. We are in the 2024. And we are in 2024 now. It's time for us to wake up and smell the coffee. Not the roses, the coffee. Because guess what? People out there, no matter how you take it, no matter how good you are with people, they are not with you. They always want to try to put a whip over your back. And fourth, you can't say nothing because what? Because it's the same people that if you rebel about, it's the same people is gonna come at you.
I heard that. That's facts. Yeah. Except as long as we begin to individualize and put our individual best interests before the best interests of our people, we're going to continue to have those problems. Like, we're going to continue to have sellouts. There's always going to be a traitor in the midst. So that's the thing. I say the only chances that the Nigerian people have is to unify and just not take it no more. But best of luck there. We rooting for you. We seen Niger do it. Niger did it. I mean, it wasn't even really the people as much, but it was the people too. Mali and Burkina Faso, we seen them do it. Y'all gotta do the same thing. Don't look at what's his name, Bazoum. Y'all see Niger is giving you the blueprint. Nigeria, all Nigerians do what Niger is doing. That's what y'all gotta do. Y'all gotta get upset. Somebody gotta get together, and y'all gotta do it to Tinubu what happened to Bazoum. That's how you move forward. Rashad, what's going on, brother? Rashad, you here?
Yeah, man. What's up?
Peace.
I just to touch points. Man. That was a good unifying type of message, man. Because we both have our faults, but of course is what makes us similar and what makes us Africans, make us strong. So should we care about Palestine? I mean, that's an interesting question because when I observe what's going on, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, they don't have. It's like they don't have anybody to speak for them. But I gotta know that I'm in the West technically still. So we don't have the same perspective as somebody closer to them would. I just feel like, especially with our government, the way we treat it, I feel like we can't really get on a high horse and play any type of thing. But that's just me. And Benjamin Netanyahu, this is gonna go down. It's gonna be it's a crazy thing. That's what they're doing. But hey, they gotta pick some up and throw it at them. Start from there. Does voting benefit our people? I don't think so. I got to vote for the first time, and it felt like nothing. It's just with us as people, our problems don't lie in where the politics squabble, because politics is all about they're adding and taking away from everything. We have different types of problems. We don't have the same problem where the politicians argue over. So voting, politicians do nothing for us. Like, so with that, voting is just it does nothing, because all of the things we have to handle, they're just real. I won't say personal problems. That's what I'll say, personal problems. So when I think about voting and I think about the party, I'm never forget the first time I was introduced to that concept was Kendrick Lamar, bro. I was a quote the song, but it's just that whole dynamic, that whole dichotomy is so negative, and they don't do, like, I don't tell this story often, but I used to work at the state house, and I used to watch and sit in sessions, and it's just in my little town, Montgomery. So I used to watch the sessions, and I first of all, they got a preacher he gotta either he sing it or either somebody sing it or they giving their word, and then they proceed, and that's just that's worse than like a high school lunch table. Like that's I've never seen nothing like that. So when that was a little experience I had when I got there, I was sitting in and just watch them debate over the craziest things. But yeah, politics. I just don't get into it because I'm not. I don't want to be a politician. I don't want to inject myself into that type of dichotomy where there's a good and an evil, quote unquote. But the good just they Democrats deflect. Republicans they'll attack you, and that's just how they separate. Everybody knows you watch Star Wars, you get deflect. If I deflect something at you, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you back in your face. So that's kind of what the Democrats do. Does the left or the right care more about Black progress? Yeah, like I said, not at all. Choosing, identifying is just it's just kind of redundant to me as a person because the things that affect your community directly, because that's what politics is about, is community. What affects you directly does not affect what they are even talking about on a small scale city council. Well, I watched the state, but as far as Alabama, you know, they ain't in there. Everybody sees some of the clips where sometimes we have the Democrats and they will talk that type of talk where sometimes you'll see the clips where the black person, politician, probably a representative or a senator, would kind of grill them, and they would be getting some nice points off, but that type of stuff doesn't come to fruition in a place like that. Like, yes, we can sit up here and talk, and even we can talk about solutions and stuff, but at a place like that, when they're deciding on these laws, and of course I live in one of the more red states, so I'm gonna see some crazy stuff. Like I didn't see, man. Of course, they abortion. I want to say I think I can say that here, but the protests, we have lots of protests, like protests, because we got because they vote against that stuff, and most of the groups they come to protest. But yeah, I seen some crazy stuff sitting in. I'm a IT intern over there where I was, so I would sit in. If somebody had a problem, I would go over there and solve it. But I'm just sitting in, and they just talking about anything. And the thing that stuck out to me is they got the preacher. The preacher go first. But that says a lot. But yeah, it doesn't. The left or the right, no.
All right. Well, thank you for that word, brother. Definitely gotta give you an A for that one. Answer the questions correct. On to the next guest, T Lady. Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please. We can hear you.
Ohio,
There you go.
she.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm not big on politics either. But I also feel like knowing what I know, from, what I've experienced by being a voter, like today, I've seen enough of what the Democrats do. I've seen enough of what the Republicans do, and neither one of them benefit the people in a way where it's benefiting Black people because we, I believe, make the world go round. Without us, it ain't nothing. So we have to dare to do something different. So I'm still thinking about it, but Dr. Malcolm Tanner, what he's saying and how he's moving makes me feel that maybe this man, maybe having an independent vote would be a better vote for our people. He's not just speaking about what's happening over here in America. He's talking about all of our people,
Malcolm.
all of our people. And then saying those are terrorists to both sides to be answered for. You can't you can't hide your hand and think you're gonna go unpunished. We can't. Our children can't. How is politics in our food? You're stealing. You're stealing from great people, and it's just nasty. I don't care about the Democrats, Uncle Tom's, or the Republicans. Like, y'all done enough. Enough is enough. We need to wipe them out. Sit them down. Send them home. Put them in a nursing home. Send them to their family members. You're done. It's time for us to clean up, learn from both sides, and make our entire world great.
Um,
Uh, does the left or the right care about? No, Democrat don't care. They don't care. Either side, they don't care. They just care about their agenda, which is not our agenda. So we have to care about our agenda and do something about the left and the right.
okay. I looked up Malcolm Tanner. Never heard of him. Um, I don't think he's gonna be president next because he don't got enough followers. But um,
That may be today, but we need to get him to have enough followers.
why would it
We
benefit?
need to learn more from him. He's you. He's you. He's me. He's a person who's he's that guy that was up here from Nigeria who said he's not Nigerian, but they labeled him as Nigerian. He's a fed up citizen who's tired of seeing his neighbors, his family members, his friends being hurt by the same people who say, "Oh, we're here to protect you. We're here to help you figure it out," but feed you poison. That's
Um,
what Michael Tanner is. And he be on TikTok. He be on TikTok, Instagram. He also got a clubhouse. Um, so more
can you
people
hear
need
me?
to know him in these next few months. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. No, yeah, I was talking. My wife is listening too, so she was like, "Well, let me know." So I don't see it. I'm telling you, when having the black vote alone is not going to get you to be president of the United States. We sometimes overestimate our our position in this country. Like we're not as there's not as many of us to get someone to be a president just based on us, which is why we never get a president that cares anything about what we're doing. And then even if we did get a president that was, you know, if let's say even Dr. Umar, and we know Dr. Umar became president, if anything, even if he's wrong, he's gonna be for our people. But this man would never be president because even if he did become president, there's so many people in power that the president is not the most like he doesn't have the most power. Like there's other people that also can, you know, get in the way to the point where it's almost Like I don't see how. I'm gonna say it's impossible to have a pro-black president. Like the presidency in itself, as it currently exists, is like the Klan. So it's like you're gonna
I'm not
be.
saying that he's pro black because he has agenda for the black people, but he's for the people because it's going to take more than just us.
So he's not for black people,
He is for black people, but I'm not saying
but he's for everybody.
he's for everybody because we this is our country. But
Whose country?
his focus is to make corrections for the black people.
So you think this is his country?
No, this is not his country. I didn't say that. This is our country.
How is this our country?
Because we put into it. I mean, it may not be in the way that benefits us in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Benefit us at all.
I would say this isn't our country. Especially us black men should know that the Constitution says all men are created equal, and then they had black men as slaves. So that clearly shows that when they wrote the Constitution, they was not thinking about us as black people. They didn't even mention black women. So they definitely
I
not
don't even
thinking
know
about
what
us.
FBA is.
They're definitely not thinking about us when they. Please don't talk to the comments. It gets they talking amongst themselves. If you get caught up in that, then it messes the whole live up. But there ain't no such thing as a pro-black president. Ain't gonna be one. The United States is a country full of colonizers and settlers. The people that we call Americans are not American; they're European settlers. And I don't think it suits us as a people to try to put another black person in power because they will never give a black person that much power. Like the reason Obama got in is because Obama was willing to go with the program. He didn't fight against the
Nope.
program. So there's not
Mm-hmm.
going to be someone that they allow in and then it's going to flip the whole thing upside down. They're not going to let that happen. The only way that that's going to happen is if we flip it upside down as a people. But
And that's what I'm saying.
yeah, but we can't flip it upside down by voting for somebody. Voting ain't going to solve that. Now,
What
we
was
could get
I'm the student. I'm not the teacher. I'm the student. So how will we as a people turn it upside down for us?
not voting is one solution. I mean, I'm waiting to hear a better one. But the problem is Republicans want to divide us so that we don't keep voting as a group for Democrats because that's what's hurting the Republicans is that we unify every election and vote as Democrats. So the Republicans just want us divided because if we were divided, they try to get black men in the last election to vote for them because all they got to do is divide us, and that's all that matters. However, the Democrats need us to vote for them because we make up a majority of their numbers. So the Democrats don't want us to vote Republican, and the Republicans want us to be divided. The Democrats don't care how they treat us because they know that we're going to vote for them, and the Republicans are going to try to do everything they can to divide us. So I guess the solution to that would be for us to all as one unite and come together. That pisses off the Republicans, and then not vote Democrat because that'll piss off the Democrats. But we'd all have to unite together and either not vote or we could vote for Malcolm whoever, but he ain't gonna be president. I like we don't have to vote for him because he's gonna be the voice of the people. We just need everyone to not vote Democrat and not run to the Republicans either, but just abstain from voting. And then we're going to see that in the next election, the Democrats are going to have to show us something to get our vote. We shouldn't be voting for anybody that doesn't have the best interests of our people.
Of course, yeah,
And
I got that right. I understand that.
and so if we continue to vote Democrat, then they're never going to see a reason to improve our condition any. So if we stop voting for them, then now they're going to have to try to win us back, and that's what gives us more of a negotiation. Does it give us freedom? Absolutely not. Does it help us survive a little easier? Yeah, that's it in the short term. But again, voting is not, that's not the answer. I'll be honest. And the
So we got to
Democrats are the
be
ones.
strategic about this, like the battleship game. Like it's either, like you said, we have to unite and not vote at all because it doesn't help either side.
But that's probably not going to happen because we've been so brainwashed by Abraham Lincoln and the Democrats to believe that if we just vote and change their hearts and minds, that eventually they'll love us enough to give us, reparations or give us, some foot up. And so that's the problem is we cannot. It's not that some of us stop voting because if some of us don't vote, that don't do nothing. It has to be like the way we vote Democrat by default. We will stand in line for hours. No one else will stand in line in the hot Georgia sun like black folks for hours to go in there and vote Democrat.
Right.
And we need to be like that and stay our behinds at home. We need to think just like that. That same thinking. Don't change. But just stay behind at home and everyone boycott the vote. And now we see the Democrats gonna come crying back to us, and then we can have more power, but it's only still just a short term solution. It's not gonna change anything. Long term,
Well, you
we
better
gotta
start
focus
putting
on
stuff
Africa.
in your name because that's the only way they ain't gonna be able to take it is if it's fully in your name,
What do you mean?
like property, land.
Queen, they could still take that if we make a payment. They could take that right away from us. Like that's the system of illusion that they have established for us, thinking that we can own things here, thinking that we can actually make substantial changes here, when in actuality they have very much so orchestrated the system for the express purpose of only benefiting Democrats.
Even if you paid off your mortgage, like
Even if you paid off your mortgage, even if you paid off your mortgage in full, you still have to pay taxes on that.
Yeah, or they can take your house.
just raise up the taxes and say, "Oh, you can't afford your taxes."
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know how they raise up the taxes? They raise up the taxes by having white people move in, and because the houses are selling at a higher price. Because I don't know if you know this, but black people, when we own homes, the houses the value goes down. They're devalued just by having black people in that house. It's harder to sell the house, so they have to bring the value down because no one wants to move in behind a black family. So black people owning homes brings the value down, but white people moving in around you brings the value of your neighborhood up. And when the value of your neighborhood goes up, so do the taxes. When the value of your home goes up because white people are moving in, now your taxes get higher and higher until eventually you have to move out because you can't afford. My mom paid $24,000 in taxes in New Jersey in 1 year. So that's 12,000 twice a year she would pay just to own a home that was been paid off for 10 years by the time the taxes got that high. So 24,000 a year for a home you own. You see what I'm saying? We can't. This is all short term. Like we are still on a giant ass plantation. It is all short term. Like that's why I say if anybody wants to own homes, you can get them here. I would say my idea would be to get them here, rent them out, and make money so that they pay themselves and get you a little something on the side. But if you can, try to buy some land in Africa, because in Africa, when you own a home, you own that shit. That is it. It is said and done. Your
That's
children will
something,
own that home. There ain't no taxes, no nothing going to
right?
take that home away from you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's way different in
Yeah,
Africa.
that was one of my accomplishments, and I'm working on another one. So, um, it's just crazy, man, and it's sad, and my heart hurt.
Well, Queen, see, the thing is that they the system for the express purpose of into a state of hopelessness. They want that. Exactly what they love. They love for us to sit and be like, oh man, they just got everything on lock. We can't do anything. They want that because if you do that, that means that you slip into despair. When you slip into despair, that means that there's less things that you feel you can do. If there's less things that you feel as though you can do, that's the more that they have the ability to control. So that's like approach it from a lens of yes.
Your mic is messing up real bad, Timothy.
Oh, my bad. Hold on, let me see if I can. Can anybody hear? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, better.
Okay. So I'll just keep it short. Yeah, that's what they want to do. They want to keep you in a perpetual state of despair so that you feel like you can't do anything.
Well, I
But
don't want to be in a perpetual state of despair. I want to be able to have the mindset that anything I put my mind to, I can conquer.
yeah, and that's exactly the type of mindset that we should have. But at the same time, it's important to be very, very, very aware of the systems and constructs that they create to keep us away from us being able to achieve what it is that we dream for ourselves. But also, we need to pay attention more collectively rather than individualistically. Because as the individual, you can maybe get some things done, but that means you got to leave your entire community behind, which is not being what being pro-black is at all. That's literally you just embracing individualism
And
and
this is what
completely
I want to
turning it.
tell my family because they don't want to change their mindset, or like you said, they are stuck in the mindset of despair, or they look at you like, oh, you think you're better than me. No, let's pull out our pens and pads and figure this out together. But I can't stay in despair because you're in despair.
Yeah, and
I'm
see,
gonna
the thing is
do the
that
crack. I can't.
there's going to be some people that you're just not going to be able to reach, unfortunately. Like there's some people that have been so dependent on the identity that the system has forced them to embrace that it's going to like there's just no way you can reach them all the time. But people are waking up. It requires more reading, more research. And the one thing that I would say that would be the best way to get your mindset more into the Pan Africanism, but also getting it more into the hopes and the possibilities of all the things that are in the future. Look at the past. Look at ancient Black African history and civilizations, constructs, inventions, so on and so forth. Like it is absolutely a vast spectrum of masters of economics and the origins of economics and the origins of trade and negotiation. Like you can find all of that in ancient African history. Like just look at those examples, and then you'll see very, very clearly examples where we control our own destinies, we control our own fates, and yeah, that'll be a way in which you can encourage yourself into like, oh, okay, we've done this before for hundreds of thousands of years. Oh, the next few centuries is no problem. Like we got to get more so in that mindset, Queen.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
All right. Well, yeah. Yeah, I would say, if our freedom is focused, if we want freedom, we want to talk about freedom. We need to focus on Africa. If we want to talk about survival, you know, in the short term, there are ways that we can survive, by weaponizing our vote. But voting itself is not pro-black. Just the act of voting is not something that makes you pro-black. That's not something that's going to benefit our community. Um, Weaponizing the vote or weaponizing not voting weaponizing it, shaking the system up is pro-black. Not going along with it because they told you to vote Democrat. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of wild. But let's go to the next guest. Wait, hold on. Before we do that, I've had a lot of indigenous people in my comments saying that I'm taking their culture. I'm not taking none of y'all culture. I'm actually up here doing the opposite of that. So before you see a black face and just decide that he's like all the rest of them, just calm down with your anti-blackness and just take a minute to listen to what the conversation is about before you go that far. This is clearly a caricature. Why would there be an indigenous headdress with stars and stripes on a black man with dreadlocks? Like, this is a caricature. Relax. I'm clearly doing the opposite. I'm not, though. You just see a black person and just assume he's one of those pretending weirdos on the internet. Just sit around and listen for a minute. You'll see. Anyway, Rob, what's going on? Rob Moore, you here?
Man,
All right, peace.
how you doing?
I'm well, King.
50 black, he, him.
All right, talk to us.
Okay. Should we care about Palestine? I'm not sure about Palestine, but I think we should be worried about Israel. They are dangerous, I believe, for the whole world. They might be looking to start World War III. Who knows? And does voting benefit our people? Not directly. It doesn't benefit us directly. I mean, there's some elections that make some sense for us, like local elections, like school board or city council, the mayor maybe. But the national elections don't help us at all, really. Does the left or the right? Yeah, the left cares about our vote. Shoot, they crazy if we stop voting for them. The right doesn't care nothing about us. They actually despise us, from what I can understand. More about black progress. Oh, nah, neither one of them care about black progress. Yeah. I landed right there.
Okay. Straight to the point. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. Not much else to be said. Appreciate you.
All right, bro.
All right, peace. Kid Cat, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kat. How old am I? I'm 34. Black, she, her.
All right, thank you. Talk to us.
Okay, so should we care about Palestine? I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. So I'm gonna skip that one. I'm gonna stick around though and try to kind of learn more about that one though. I know what's going on there, but I'm not sure why we should or should not care about it. Okay. Does voting benefit our people? So that's why I came up. I was gonna say the same thing, like maybe on the local end, if we participated that way, then we might be able to control more, like when it comes down to bigger votes. But I did come in on the end, like when I was already up here, about weaponizing our vote and stuff like that. So that's also a different perspective. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Whether they care about black progress, no, absolutely not. But I'm just talking about like how it could benefit us regardless. So I'm guessing, I don't know, brother Legend, what is your take on the voting, if you don't mind? Is it just a hard no? Is it just
Voting itself, like, um, if I took away your ability to walk, and then one day you fought hard enough and I granted it back to you, but told you you could only walk towards a cliff, towards the edge of a cliff, would walking be in your best interest? You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
voting itself is not something that will benefit us. It's something that we can use to survive as a survival tool if we weaponize it in our best interest in the environment that we're currently facing as a
Mm-hmm.
people, where by 2050 they've estimated the average black household's net wealth will be $0. Like, we're going to hit zero by 2050. That's what they're predicting now. Like,
What? Why?
yeah, we've got another what's that, like 25 years, 26 years left of black wealth, and then we're going to hit the negatives as an average, because that's how much we're getting hit. And people will just say we got to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps, all that other mess. Voting, we've been voting since 1965.
Yeah.
It's not working. You know what I'm saying? Like, before, we couldn't vote, so I get it. Back then, yes, we were weaponizing. Well, the idea was that we'd be able to weaponize the vote.
Right.
Instead, we just keep voting for those that made it look like they were the ones that freed us. And so now, the Democrats expect us to vote, and the Republicans are trying to continuously divide us so that we don't vote for the Democrats.
Yeah.
Lewis, you got a lot of noise. I'm just mute you. But so the problem is, nobody has what's in our best interest, because Republicans just want to divide us and weed out all the real ones and get the COONs on their side. And the Democrats don't care for our best interest, because they're like, you're going to vote for us every time compared to them. You're going to come over
Right.
here. So the point is, if we can do something that weaponizes our vote against both Democrats and Republicans, they will then have to, most likely the Democrats would have to come running back to us with something that benefits us in order to win us back over. So we stop voting for them, and now they lose their numbers, but we do it in unity, so that the Republicans' idea of splitting us up does not work either. Now, both the Republicans and the Democrats are mad. The Democrats are going to lose, and the Republicans have what they don't want: unified Africans on American soil that don't give a damn about what's going on outside of their community. So you see what I'm saying? Like, now that's something that would weaponize it. But that's only one idea. Other than that, voting Democrat, voting Republican, it's, to be honest, it don't make no sense.
No, that's actually really, really smart. I never really believed in the presidential votes and things like that. But like I said, I thought before that maybe if we kind of stayed focused the entire time, it might make a change. But I like that much better. I think it's just one of those things where when we have these amazing ideas and these kind of like solutions to certain problems, and this is not really a dig, it's just obviously it's gonna be challenging for us to have that unity. I do think like in a situation like this, like the older generations who really, really appreciate their votes and really buy into like your vote matters. I'm thinking about my mother, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Like they don't even really understand like the way the votes work. Like I try to tell them, I'm like, "Ma, your vote don't really count, right? Like y'all know what the electoral college does and stuff like that, right?" Like, but she got so mad. Like her and her boyfriend, they got so upset because they really hold, like my mom's from Mississippi, like they think that is really important. And so when I hear solutions like that, I'm like, dang, that would be nice. But, you know, I just
Yeah.
always think about, yeah. But okay.
So that's that being the case, most of us gonna vote Democrat again.
Right.
And when that happens, the Democrats still ain't gonna do nothing for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just gonna continue down this path where, the Republicans could win. If enough of us don't vote, the Republicans could win. But even when the Democrats win, the Republicans get their way. Like it was under Biden's watch that CRT is taken out of the schools. There's now teaching the benefits of slavery in Florida. Biden proposed the '94 crime bill under the Clinton administration. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like bad things happen under the Democrats' watch
Regardless.
and the Republicans' watch. What are we so afraid of? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I think that more people should hear, you speak and other people like that as well. But no, I learned something. I think ideally that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. So
All
yeah,
right.
that was it. That's all I had to bring to it.
Okay. Appreciate you, sister. Thanks for
Thank
coming up.
you.
I'm gonna go to the next guest. Lewis, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please. Lewis Yedon. Oh, still here. I'm gonna unmute you. You're muted, Lewis.
Hey man, hey,
Hey, peace.
I've been on here before, and I last time I got dropped out. But I've learned a lot since I've been with you, brother, and I think that you on the right point. I love your whole concept about Democrats, but I got bad news on this term here with the mega and what these guys are doing. They already took away rights of women and all this stuff. I don't know. I mean, we're gambling really now. We got a lot at stake on this one here because if you listen to some of the things that they're talking about from the hard right, from the hard right, it's basically not good for us as black people. So we are
Mm-hmm.
already not doing well in this country, and they just want to keep pushing us as far as back as they can. They're not fair, you know. You know how you know that deal, and I don't like this talk like this because I said I sound like a bot trying to tell people to go back to what you call the plantation because both of them are plantations. They're not in for any of our process for us to make it better for our lives in America.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep it real, but I don't want it to get better for us. So when it looks
How could it get better?
they're talking about rights and stuff, taking away and making it give them a system upper hand to do more bad things to us in the system. And
Like
that's
what?
to Project 2025, which is an Agenda 47, which does not benefit us at all. It does puts a lot up to the BIPOC community. It does so much red all over it. Got a chance to go directly to the hardcore mega, the hard ones, not the ones that's soft that's out here. We all want to be together, the real ones who really doesn't. They want to be white tea people, want to be social, feel like they being discriminated in this country because they feel that everyone else is getting opportunities more than they are. They want their white tea country. So I'm calling it for real. So I'm gonna call it for real.
So what do you say the solution is then?
I don't know. This is the big deal. I like your solution, but we got to make change. But is this the right time? Do we really need not to vote? This is probably the worstest time for us. We need to really find and really need to get behind something to make sure that we stand represented for ourselves to make sure we stay in the game and not let these folks take away our rights. Because it's going to be hard if we come back and then we got to sit here and fight.
But see, that's the thing.
You know,
what's going to stop them from taking away? What will voting do to stop them from taking away our rights?
well, the voting will at least stop them from getting in there so they can't do it. because we're talking about the hard right. The hard right wants to get in it so they can have the power. If we don't let them get the power, they can't do what they can do. But at the same time, we're not getting I 100% agree with you. We're not getting no respect from the Democrat Party neither. We're not getting no respect from none of them. But again, it's just that it's so much.
But what do you know about what's going on in Palestine?
I know about that too, a little bit, not much, a little bit about that. But I'm familiar. I'm also letting you know about if you look up the 2020 Project 2025 and read up that, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And then
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'll look it up real quick.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Project 2020. I think I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see, but I do think that no matter what it is, if they want to do it, it's going to get done under a Democratic president or a Republican president. It's going to get done if that's what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think Joe Biden's going to stop that. I don't think he you know what I'm saying? Like I think he has the power. You know, we're seeing, the Supreme Court, like the justices are unfairly balanced to the right.
You're right. That's true.
So and it's only going to get harder and harder. Like what's basically they just secured for as long as those Supreme Court justices are alive, and Kavanaugh is pretty young for a Supreme Court justice, and so was the other one, the last one, I forgot her name, I forgot her name. I'm thinking Amy Cohen Barrett. Is that her name or something like? What's her name?
I think so. I think that is her name. Yes.
Yeah. So she. Yeah, like they're pretty young. Like they're gonna be around for a while, y'all. These people, they live until they like look at when the last justices
Right.
moved on. They was like in their 90s, almost 100. Like as black men, we probably not. What?
You 100% right about that. You 100%, and they're gonna they're gonna be there for a while. So you're right. I mean, you hitting it on the head. I just, like I said, since Project 25, it's just that they've been crying about this, and I've been looking at this, and I've been quiet about it, and just looking in Agenda 47, because that's what's under Trump. You kind of sit back, and it's the dictatorship. And we already seen what's the effects of them getting Roe and Wade. You got women, black sisters and stuff, having babies and miscarriages because they can't get abortion. They're dying, and some of them are going to jail and getting put in prison system. So we got a system now. It's just gave them more keys to open up. So I'm just saying we got to get that stuff reversed. And is it worth us trying to play around with this? But again, like you said, I have to agree with you. Is it going to be any change? Only thing we're doing is just trying to stop the symptom. And I don't know. I don't really know. But I just know that that's out there. And we as a collective people, we're going to have to look at this and figure out what we need to do. If we don't need to vote, then we need to do, like you said, we need to do it.
You ever watch Piano Man?
No, I haven't seen Piano Man before, sir.
Okay. There's another one, Boy in the Striped Pajamas, Schindler's List. All these movies about concentration camps during the German days. When you watch these movies, they sometimes show you life before the camps, and then they slowly like get closer and closer to just straight up genocide. Like it just gets worse and worse as time goes on. Whenever I watch these movies, I always think, get the hell up out of there. Go, leave now. Like I always think that. Like I watch these movies and things are getting worse and worse and worse in that country, and it just seems like the people in the movies are just complacent and comfortable. And I'm like, move, leave now, hurry up. Hitler's coming. Like I'm trying to
Right.
We at that point, y'all. Like that's really what's happening. Like we really at that point. I told my wife in 2022, we are not going to be in America for the next inauguration. Like even if it's just visiting Mexico, I don't know where we're going to be at. We're going to be somewhere not in America for the next inauguration because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be a peaceful transition of power. The last one wasn't a peaceful transition of power, no matter how the media wants to paint it, because they think that white is right and they think that it's different when America does it. But if it happened anywhere else, everyone else would have said that was not a peaceful transition of power. Whenever
It
that
was not.
happens and people
Mhm.
run through the damn Capitol, it's not a peaceful transition of power, bro.
And exactly was not, and that's what I'm saying, and that's what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with something that, and again, as far as black folks, I'm not gonna say black, but as urban people, what we are here, we have to realize that this is what we up against. If we're not going to participate, we need to collective not participate. But whatever we do, we need to do as collective, and we need to understand what's out. Because really, when we look at America now from, like you said, 50-50, they talking about our wealth is going to be completely zero in this country.
Right.
We're going to be bad. So
Right.
and if anybody, I don't care if you are an entertainer, national celebrity, I don't care if you married, but if you African American, you should be horrified just by hearing that. You should be shaking in your boots trying to figure out what can we do to not let this happen. Because if that happened, we're out of here, man. We're out of here. Where are
But
we
see,
going to
that's
go?
the thing. That's just the rise of fascism. So it's happened so many times before. All we gotta do is look at what they call comparative politics. Like just look at other countries' histories with fascism to just know what you should do when fascism is on the rise. When that starts getting real, it's time to go. It's time to go. I wish I could take everybody with me. I know a lot of us love us some apple pie and Uncle Sam. You know what? I'm sorry. Even my own family telling you, I'm leaving everybody. I'm gonna be somewhere else. And I know a lot of us can't do that. And I understand that. But that is why me and my wife have focused on reuniting with Africa and understanding that even if everybody can't get up and go, we can help we can help bridge the connection so that hopefully we can make it easier for people to be able to leave. So,
Right.
long term, that is part
It's
of
coming.
the mission statement of b1initiative.org. But it's like, bruh, we're at that stage in the next year. It's,
Yeah,
it's,
we
it's
are.
you know,
Yeah, we are so there. And I'm sorry to fortunate to tell everybody that bad news. We are so there. We're there right now, and I don't know what's the next step, but we just have to come collectively. This is emergency. It's been a state of emergency for our country, definitely for the million people and everyone else that's not Kuwaiti. We are at a crisis, and that's why when I said this again, if you look at the politics of the Republican and Democrat Party right now, you got the big right now ready to take away all the rights, and then you got the Democrats who not really taking any of are taking us very serious about getting anything done. So it's a two-way street here. So but we need to come up to a decision. That's all I can say. We got to come to a decision of what we're going to do for the future, because our generation before, when they had to do what they had to do, and they gave up so much, they gave up life just to be in this bad situation now we're in. They
yeah.
gave up everything, and we got to be able to hold them up. So we got to do what we can do for our future. Our future is very important to this
I'll
world.
be honest with you. The hope that I have for our people that cannot get up out of here in time, and when fascism hits, maybe it could be 5 years from now, it could be next year, or I mean later this year, or no, top of next year after the inauguration, but it could be after the third year of the next president. Who knows? It could be in the next 10 years. But when it happens, whoever cannot leave, I'm telling you, the brothers and sisters in America, we're gonna have each other's backs so hard. Like like that's gonna be the positives, the silver lining about our people is that when we're oppressed certain ways throughout American history, we have always had each other's back. Like there's gonna be little communities where you're safe, and now that we've had the example of the Panthers, I hope that a lot of us, would be able to, operate us on a certain way should that happen. I feel like we would. I feel like we would. I mean, I'm a second amendment. I'm sorry, Second Amendment. You know what I'm saying, type of brother. So, like I think there's more me out there. I know, hopefully I would assume we would all come together, and even if it's a small towns, whatever, You know, was going to be antagonized, but at least we'd be, together in that moment. But yeah,
Well, I'll say this. I'll
yeah,
say this. There's a lot of brothers like you, and all the people, and as far as urban people, melon people, they all want to live and survive. They want to be best. I don't care. Everybody wants to survive and have a great future and have a great thing. But right now, like you said, currently in the United States where it is now, it's very hard for this. I just don't see. I'll be honest. I can't see it either. And I'm not going to sit up here and paint a brush and say it's some magical brush out there that's going to stop all of this stuff bad that's happening to us in this country.
yeah,
I'd be lying to y'all. It's not. It's not. It's going to keep going on, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse and
right.
worse until we realize that we do have to do something about it, leave or move on. But I
It's
don't want
like
to
we,
hold this spot up. I don't want to hold this spot up because I know there's a
mm,
lot of people that might want to talk on this. And I know the
yeah,
people on the panel, I know a lot of them might want to just listen and might want to speak too on it. Like I said, I'm not forcing no one to vote Democrat, but I just want y'all to do y'all research on that 2025 and that Agenda 47 and go look at some of the things that's happened since they have pushed some of their agendas with the women moving to women's rights, taking away affirmative action, and go look at some of the things that's going on, what's happening to some people, definitely our melon people, and you'll see why this is. We have to be responsible. We have to look at these things because, like I said, if it's hurting my black sister in Ohio, it's hurting my black sisters in California, it's hurting my people here and here and here. Something I got to do something. I can't sit back. I can't.
mm-hmm.
I can't. That's not in me. God didn't put me here to do that. God put me here to love my neighbor and do, and definitely my people. We got to survive just like anybody else. And I'm not saying I'm knocking anybody else, but they look at making sure they move first. We got to make sure we move first too. And that's
I
what I'm
heard
just
that.
make sure. And I have to. We got to go first. We have to, because we got to take care of ourselves. Because ain't nobody else watching out for us. So we got to watch for ourselves. I'm gonna be honest with
Mm-hmm.
you. So I'm gonna come on out of this live, man. Y'all take care. All right.
Yes, sir. One love, brother. Appreciate you sharing that knowledge with us. I'm
No
definitely
problem.
going to look into that. All right, one love. Tia, what's going on, sister?
Good night.
Good night. Good
Um,
night.
all right, hear me out. Well, before I say that, I think we have a tendency to skip to the Supreme Court, not realizing that most cases will never even reach them. And the wild thing about what the Orange Man was able to accomplish was the amount of lower level judges that he was able to put in place. And they're handling business in like his name. And I think if you've been paying attention to the things that have been happening in Texas around the maternity stuff, that is evidence of that. Like these things are not even rising to the level of the Supreme Court. And if they do, it's going to take a really long time on purpose. Um, which like we
What
know that
happened in
there.
Texas with maternity?
The woman who, I forget what condition she has, but there's something wrong with the fetus or something wrong with the pregnancy, and they need to terminate it for her health, and they won't allow her to do that, and it's already gone to the Texas Supreme Court, and they basically shut that down. And then they have that law where if you go out of the state, you can be prosecuted too, like go out of the state to do the thing and then come back, you can be prosecuted. So they were holding things up in the court because I don't remember how far along she is. I want to say it's around 20 weeks or so, but like time is ticking, and they're intentionally holding the legal process up behind that. But it's not really
That's
about
funny because I thought Texas was one of the states where if the woman's health was at risk, they wouldn't do that. Wow.
That's what they claim, but I think the way that they wrote the legal language is that basically they're saying that her life isn't in enough danger to warrant doing the thing. So they're saying that they don't believe, like, whatever the situation is, it's not serious enough to warrant terminating the pregnancy. So, and then the situation, I'm not as familiar with the situation with the sister. Like, so the one in Texas is a YT woman. The one in Ohio is a Black woman, and that's a different scenario. I'm not as familiar with the legal situation in Ohio, but I know more about her personal situation, where she passed the, you know, on the toilet, and they basically said that charge her with like damaging a CORSP or PSE, and some other things, even though they had a
Yeah.
pathologist that said that she had nothing to do with it. So they're going after her criminally, for something that she had nothing to do with. And she went to the hospital twice and they turned her away. So it wasn't like, there was nothing she could do about it. But I think people are forgetting that part. Like he put in place a lot of lower level judges that are going to make things difficult, that really has nothing to do with the Supreme Court justices. And I think some of this will come down to how the House gets split up, like, who gets elected, in what seats. Because if they have control, if they have 2/3 of the control, like whether it's the Congress or whether it's the House or the Senate and the White House, then that's going to be a problem. But if
Can
they
they stop you? I'm just curious. Can they stop you from going to another country and having a child?
I'm not sure about the other country part.
Because I just thought of that. Like that I think would be different because you if you have a baby in another country, then the baby is technically a resident there.
No, it's if
And
you don't have it, it's you getting rid of the pregnancy. That's the issue. Because if you cross state lines to do it and then come back, they'll prosecute you. But I forget what they're prosecuting you for. I know Texas, it has that. Like, you can't leave and go somewhere else and come back and no longer be pregnant. And they'll like, it's so, say if I'm married, I need to, for whatever reason, I need to get rid of my pregnancy, I leave my state, go do it, come back, and let's say my husband drove me, they're going to charge him too. And so a lot of the doctors, even though that there's medical reasons, legitimate medical reasons for these different instances, the doctors are afraid to participate because the way that they've written the laws is so ambiguous that they can still come up with a way to legally charge them. So the doctors don't want to issue the care because they're afraid of being prosecuted and being afraid of like losing their medical license to practice and all that other kind of stuff. So it's creating a lot of issues. But the legal statutes are intentionally vague for that reason. So there's not clarity around what's legal and what's not.
wow.
But so yeah, like I think some of this is gonna come down to how the the power is split up. So if they win the White House, and they have control over Congress, that's going to be a problem because they basically have nothing standing in their way to do whatever they want. But if they don't have the White House and they have the majority of the power in the Congress, then they also can hold up anything that they want to, basically, just like they did with Obama in like the first term, basically. So it depends on how the power is split. But really what I came up here to like kind of maybe bounce off of you is if this is a good time, with us being like at least about 8 months, 9 months ahead of the vote, if this is a good time for shopaganda, if you get what I'm saying. And I think if we just talking about amongst us, right? Like, I think that older demographic, so like our parents' generation, is going to be the problem because they're the ones that have a stronger emotional tie to the action of voting, where it's like, people bled for this. We owe it to like these ancestors to do what they, you know, what
Mhm.
they gave up so much for us to have the right to do, right? Whether or not it gets us anywhere or not. But I'm saying, like, what if we just threatened to not show up, even if we knew that all of us wouldn't stand on that business? Wouldn't it force the conversation? Like, if you thought people weren't going to show up,
Um. Um.
kind of, in like, you remember when I think this was like
mhm.
in the middle of BLM, when people were calling for defunding that group of people, and how there was like this immediate response to kind of like redefine what people meant by change, defund them. So they explicitly like changed the definition so that they could change the conversation. But so basically what I'm saying is, if people just say, yeah, we're not showing up, and you thought that there was a possibility that we wouldn't show up, wouldn't that force the left to at least take it seriously? Like, you don't know if it's going to happen or not, but you can't afford for it to happen. So now you have to engage with this demographic to the extent that...
Do you think the left would, in your scenario, get our vote after we said we wasn't going to vote, and then pull out of Israel and give Palestinian people their land back?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So now we're in reality. We're back in reality, and that's the problem.
Wait, so
Is
do you think that's delusional?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
because we're in reality now. Like, they're not going to stop oppression. They're not, like, it they won't even... Someone came up here earlier and said, we got to care about Palestine, because if they'll do that to them, they're going to do something worse to us, and it's
I
really
mean,
kind
haven't
of
we
the
seen
other
that
way
already?
around. What?
I said, haven't we seen that already?
That's exactly what I was telling her. But it's really the other way around. It's like, they not even willing to liberate them. You think they're going to liberate us?
Right.
So, it's like, if they won't even do that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you think they're gonna stop Congolese oppression? No, okay. So now let's just not focus on geopolitics. Let's get back into just America.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're gonna stop Texas and Mississippi and Alabama from locking brothers up? Like, they can't even right now. They can't even. Excuse me. They can't even stop them from uh taking away white women's rights to have abortions. Like, what are Democrats really on? Like, when fascism is on the rise in a country, it's on the rise. Like, because Gil Scott Heron said the revolution will not be televised because it starts in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And fascism starts in the minds of the people. The Republican Party holds the hearts and minds of 1/3 of the majority of the country. 1/3. There's 200 million of them. So 1/3 would be what? How many is that? Maybe, I don't know. Either way, it's more than every black person in America. And if all of those people feel like they want to support a fascist regime, then that's what's going to happen. Like, and it's honestly, believe it or not, long term, probably for the best of our people. I know that's really hard to imagine, but it would mean the fall of Rome, because Rome went fascist before it fizzled out. So did Germany. When fascism comes up, the country doesn't usually survive. It usually fizzles out. So, it's an extinction burst. That's what they call it. So, I would just say, we need to start, talking more about survival, talking more about, possibly leaving the country. I would say we got a lot more to do. If we want to talk about survival, cool. We need to weaponize our vote, weaponize, our voices. There's a lot we can do, but it's not going to change anything. It's just, these are survival tactics. It's like, it's not going to feed us. It's just gum for us to chew on. So we feel like we're eating.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear about that? All the bodies that were found around that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know this was going to blow up the way it did. I saw that. I see so many stories now that I've started B1 Initiative, and we got the news. I don't know if y'all noticed, but in the news section of B1 Initiative, there's a ticker, and it just will constantly
Oh,
give you news like throughout the diaspora. And yeah, I didn't know this one was going to blow up the way it did. There's so much gruesome stuff about our people, but yeah, that's a shame. Mississippi. Yeah.
It's not surprising. Like this is how they have, like, they're still finding mass graves from, you know, what took place, like the unalivings that took place at Black Wall Street. They're still finding mass graves across the country. Like literally, if anybody's ever been to the financial district where the burial ground is, where it's literally within like maybe 1 or 2 blocks from Trinity Church, if you go to that space, it used to be 6 acres, and what they found was only about like 400 plus like human remains that they found there. But in actuality, that entire space over 6 acres was supposed to be roughly estimated like 15,000 bodies. And these are all bodies that have since been completely desecrated to the point where they now have buildings built on top of other individuals' grave sites. So like these are real deal things. Like when you go there, I'm not sure about anybody else's experience, but when I went there, it was almost as if there was like, now mind you, this is financial district of New York City. So there's never a moment where there isn't some type of commotion going on. And this was just my personal experience the first time that I went, setting foot onto that ground and then reading all the pamphlet, all the panels where it kind of gives you information about that specific region, that little marker that they have marked out for the memorial. Everything else around me went completely silent, and all you could hear was wind cutting through the buildings. And that was the most eerie feeling in the world. Like right then and there, I knew I was on sacred ground, and it didn't matter the way I walked from that memorial. I was still on sacred ground, a solid 6 acres all the way around.
Wow.
And like, you know, like it's we got to understand that they're still finding out things that the levels of atrocities that they've committed against us for the purpose of trying to get us out of neighborhoods, or trying to, okay, let's just dismiss that, let's cover that up with something else. And yeah, it's just it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they just found bones of black and brown people buried under Harvard last year. And then, you know, basically we're about to experience a fascist regime. I think we just need to act like it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get out of that cognitive dissonance. Let's wake up. Wake up, everybody. Hello, hello. Wake up. Good morning. And start acting like it's coming. There are things we can do to maybe, if we start talking about survival, instead of going along to get along to make a change, and we start talking about, all right, what are we going to do when this happens? What are we going to do when this happens? You know, like we need places where black women can go. Some of these brothers and sisters with PhDs need a private clinic where they don't, you know, report to nobody except for black folks. You know what I'm saying? Make sure there's, like, we got to stop trying to think within the system to help ourselves, and maybe if we just, you know, use some of our creativity, we could be the solution that we need for ourselves.
Yep. And just to the point of the first question at the top, I just wanted to draw everybody's attention to the individual in the comment section, Sir David London, who keeps on consistently attempting to overpower our black stories. And when we're talking about pushing for us embracing the safety and security of our black people first, the first thing he starts doing is posting a whole bunch of free Gaza, free Palestine, and promoting all of that within the comment section, as if we're not talking about very specific things pertaining to black people. So that's just an example of, like, very clearly, you can see that just how much, just from this one individual, of course, you can see that the example is clear. Like, he has more focus on that, yet he's intervening into a black space for the purpose of trying to shift the conversation away from us talking about each other and shift it to Palestine. It's like, my guy, you're proving literally the point that
Right.
everybody's been making on the panel. But, listen, everybody, like, Rome did not last forever. There is no such thing as a immortal civilization. So, and at the end of the day, the United States is already experiencing its downfall. I'm not sure if
Right.
anybody's seen the movie Leave the World Behind, but that was actually a film that was made by using the notes of, President Barack Obama for the purpose of making that film and kind of giving us an introduction as to how the world would potentially, or how this nation would potentially end. And, I don't want to give the whole film away, but the ending that is like insinuated, I'll just say that it's the ending that they are talking about that's going to happen for America. It's going to be related to racism. Like, it's going to be like that final finale at the end of the film. It's going to be caused by racism. Like, that's going to be the last final thing that's going to start it. So, and it's not going to be us that's going to make the first move. It's going to be YT supremacists. It's just like how they made the first move during the Civil War. They're going to make the first move for this one as well. And that's just how they move. That's how they operate. They've always been the ones to instigate the pew-pewing first. So, it's just be very cautious, everybody, because at the end of the day, there's nothing that's going to last forever. And we're already seeing the beginning downfall of America. So, make plans, make preparations, start thinking outside of this place, because this place is not permanent. It is not. And especially if you have a land built on bloodshed, oh yeah, you are not going to be around for very long. 400 years is nothing compared to the vast amount of civilizations that have existed in African civilizations, where they didn't have to depend on forced labor of people. Like, they didn't have all these constructs. Like, you don't build a civilization off of destruction and profiting off of war and expecting that it's just going to last forever, because it's just, you can't. That's not possible.
Yeah, and that's the only way Europeans have been able to build their civilizations and that's why they're like a flickering candle light. They come and they go over and over and over again. Africa, there were empires and civilizations that lasted for thousands of years. You can't name one European civilization that lasted for thousands, plural, of years. You have different ones that popped up, came around. I mean, then on top of that, even if you want to look at like Europe as it is constructed, wasn't even Europe until the 1600s. They didn't consider it Europe. Europe itself is a construct built because of racism. But either way, I'm just saying, like, they ain't touching Kemet. They ain't touching Menzies and Queen T and Akhenaten, and they ain't touching our ancestors when it comes to that. What's the name of the queen from Kush, Timothy? Do you know her name?
Oh yeah, Queen Amanarines.
Amanarines, yes, yes,
He was a boss. Like,
for real.
she stood 10 toes down and then some.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't
Yeah,
she used to
so
feed the Romans, like the Romans that she had captured? She used to feed them to her lions or something like that.
yep.
This is
She
like,
did
dang.
them dirty. Yeah, she was Roman. She was about as black as it gets. You know what I'm saying? And she was a black woman that was about her business. She ain't play. And they actually found she chopped off the head of Caesar Octavius. I think was the Caesar. But she chopped off a statue that had his head on it. She took the head and buried it so that people could walk over the head of Caesar when they walk down the street. And
Yeah, they actually found that because
yeah,
like when they did the archaeological dig of that area, that head had still basically it had been there since like for thousands of years. Like it, and then they just found it, and they were like, "Oh snap! This is under the doorstep where everybody had to walk in and out of." So it was, yeah, that was hilarious.
crazy. Yeah. So yeah, but they're not touching our civilizations. Thousands of years, the earliest writings, the they're not touching that because they keep taking power real quick and oppressing a bunch of people to get as high as they can up on the ladder of dominating everyone, and then it just fizzles out. It's like and it's funny that it's patriarchal because that's kind of how it operates. You know how men like go up and then there's like a pow and then they like that's how their civilizations are. It's just it's up and then it's over. One and done, quickies. That's what they're good for. So yeah, Black Swan, did you want to talk to us, sister?
Yes. I am Black, age 33, pronouns she, her.
All
So,
right.
I harped on this yesterday when I responded to the questions, but I think people have to kind of how you said be realistic about um understanding that the system was built with us in mind, but with us in mind in a certain way. If just continuing to build off of our backs.
Yeah.
That's all it's ever shown us. And I think that a lot of times people get hopeful because things have changed, but it just looks different. We're still oppressed. I actually caught this news segment, I don't know how many months ago this was. I think it's down in Georgia where people were deliberately looking for discrepancies with Black voters, and they were going and taking it to some sort of council and saying, hey, we saw this discrepancy, this person should not be able to vote. And there was one particular man that they interviewed. He was Black and he owned a barbershop, and he joined the military, and when he got home from the military, he was homeless, but he had started a business. So I think he was using his grandmother's address at the time, or using his shop's address, something like that. And he never changed it. So they found out, they took his rights away, and then he had to go to another council to try to get it back and fix the information. So he was able to get his right to vote back. But then they interviewed the woman that actually found out that he had the wrong address in there. And she said that she's just one person who was able to find and searched for 500 people who are mostly Black people, to see what the discrepancies were with their votes. And things like this are happening all the time. I don't think that people realize it because obviously we're not told these things. Like, if you catch it in the news, then you kind of catch on to what's happening. But like, we're constantly being let down in this country with this government. It's never been there's never been a policy that has truly ever benefited us. It's always something that's going to benefit them. At the surface level, people, they market it so well that it feels like it's going to be beneficial to us. But in fact, it does the opposite, right? Like, we still have so many things that we're dealing with. And I think that people have to be really realistic about that and understand that, you can't have hope and rely on this government as a Black person.
Right.
It's just that's just the reality of it. I was researching my last name today, and I never thought to put my last, because it's only in one state, my last name. I'm not going to say what it is or the state, but just for obviously. But I thought, well, maybe I should just type in like my last name and then plantation. And yeah, I found paperwork dating back to the 1700s.
What?
names of people with my last name who do not look like me.
What?
There are, and this is the craziest thing about it. So there was I don't have Facebook anymore, but over 10 years ago, I remember someone reaching out to me on Facebook with the same last name as me, and they were YT. Now, they had a picture of this house as their profile picture, and I never really they had just reached out and said, hey, we have the same last name, and it was online. So obviously, I'm being cautious, and I didn't really feel I didn't want to engage with them. So I just left it alone. So when I was researching today, I found pictures of headstones with them and their last names. I found just like court cases with their families and, their children's names. A few of them had actually changed the spelling of the last name. I don't know if maybe they did that to separate each other and stuff like that. But my heart dropped because I saw the same photo that woman had on her Facebook when she reached out to me. This is a YT woman, mind you. It's the same photo. It was a plantation house. It was a plantation house.
Damn.
So, right. And I'm just like, and Tia and I were talking about it on Librarians Live, and I was just like, she's like, why would she even reach out? The weird thing about it though is that I felt such a strong disdain. I didn't know any of this at that time, but I felt such a strong disdain for even wanting to communicate with her, because I'm just like, I don't know who you are. I feel like this is weird. Why are you reaching out to me? Same last name. How do I know? You know what I mean? But it just definitely reinforced the truth about our reality in this country, and just the way that we've always been thought of. People will say, well, we had Obama as a president, yada yada yada, but that's one of how many, right? Even in the town that I live in, the demographics are changing and it's becoming more diverse, but police officers, judges, attorneys, teachers, everybody high up is YT. Everybody where I live at. And I think they really truly only look out for the best interests of themselves. And that's it.
Yep.
And that's it. And I think that we have to understand that. And, it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a tough pill to swallow, because people think, oh yeah, I can make change. I can make change. But we've only ever been viewed and used one way by this government.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
I heard that.
Found out, Queen.
Yeah.
I found out that my last name is on the Constitution of the United States. So technically speaking, it's not like a name that's biologically tied to my family, but it's through a family member that was adopted. We eventually kind of took hold of the name. But come to find out, that last name is on the Constitution, and it was a Delaware senator that was on the Constitution. But then also, I was reading the book Never Caught, and there was another individual with that same last name who was tasked by George Washington to try to recapture Ona Judge after Ona Judge ran away from the Washingtons, the first ever president's house in Philadelphia. And and then when you look at the history of the names of other family members, the majority of our last names are tied to white families that were previously slave owners, slave holders, enslavers. And a lot of times our ancestors, historically, we didn't really have a choice in trying to figure out what type of identity did we want to kind of create for ourselves. So a lot of times we would just adopt whomever it was that had enslaved us, for the purpose of just okay, well, I need a last name. They only ever called me Ben. So you know what? Let me go ahead and, address myself as my enslaver's last name, but I'll also hold the name that they forcibly gave me as well. And then I'll move on from there. And that's also why you'll see a lot of people of African ancestry with the last name Freeman, because it's not because that actually was their last name. It was because they didn't want to associate with their enslaver's last name, but at the same time, they wanted to ensure that people knew them as free man. Hey, I am a free man, and I'm walking around here, and hey, my name may be Ben, but my last name is going to be Freeman. Yeah, so I mean, it definitely goes deep. There's so much depth to everything.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild when you think about it. That's wild. That's really wild when you think about Morgan Freeman and
That
what
is.
he be saying.
I keep thinking about, like, when I was looking at the paperwork and the documents and stuff, I kept thinking about, like, all that wealth that literally came from my, people in my family, all of that wealth. I'm quite sure they still own that land. And, I'm like, this is insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's no initiative to, I don't know what that woman would have wanted, but if it was now and she approached me, I would have said, if you're not trying to cough up my what's deserved to me, then I don't want anything to do with you. What are you reaching out to me for? But I was thinking about that, just all of the wealth that went to, these people that share the last name. I feel like Darnold even saying that, but
I'm
anyways,
telling you, y'all, I want to
like,
I want to get the hell away from all of that mess and go to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Well, there's mess there too. You know what I'm saying? But like, it just is. It's like we living on a giant plantation right here. You know what I'm saying? Like over there, it's like, okay, this is not a plantation. This is our land. This is our birthright we're standing on. But they are here, you know, pulling the puppets by their strings. However, at least I'm standing on my birthright and not on some land that was stolen from someone else to bring me here to work on it. And that's what we do today, right? We work on this land. Like, the concept of paying people for their time is something I've been back and forth with as I'm learning more about Bantu philosophy and like understanding how ancient Africans looked at time. It's kind of wild. Like, if a plumber comes to my house, the part that he's using might have been, a $25 part, but I got to pay him $200 because I'm paying him for his time, and then, we're not slaves because now they pay us for our time. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like interesting how they've been able to monetize the idea of time. Like, just because now that I'm into Bantu philosophy, I'm starting to understand ancient Africans did not even look at time the same way we do. Like, and so I'm like, why do Europeans look at time this way? And I'm starting to realize the same reason you punch a clock, like you punch a clock because they're paying you for your time. So they look at the future, the present, and the past as time, where in Bantu philosophy, there basically is no such thing as the future. Like, they didn't believe in the future. They believe in the immediate future, like the next, like the short few, like tomorrow the sun will rise. We believe that, but as far as like, things happening next year, things happening, in the distant future, we're not things happen when they're supposed to happen type. CPT is what we call it. But I just think, I don't know, a lot of slavery is all around us in this country. And when I even realized that it's in the time, like, and then we come up here and we're talking about, like, someone come up here and say something stupid and we're all like, yeah, this is racist. That's racist what he just said. I'm like, it's in the time. Like, it's so deep. It's in our language. It's in how we speak. It's in our time. It's in our food. The reason our food is poisoned is because slavery. Like, it's all like, it's all around us. And it's just, I want to get the hell away from it. But
I found out that a part of the
yeah.
reason, like, women of African ancestry, specifically in America, are experiencing such complications, like health wise, when it comes to, like, in terms of gaining more weight, is actually because of racism. Like, it's not. It's literally because of, like, that's like dealing with the stressors of that. That automatically is going to affect your body producing more producing more certain areas. But then also on top of that, systemically within Black communities, they only promote fast food restaurants. And at the same time, they also promote more heavily tobacco usage and alcohol usage. And
Right.
so all of that culminated together while at the same time prohibiting certain access to medical care and encouraging that that our people don't seek out those extra treatments or like re-embrace ancient African customs and cultural norms, which had to do with our food. That's inadvertently causing so many unalivings to happen within our own communities. But the primary culprit of all of that is still racism. Like it goes so deep. It's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a huge advocate for getting the hell out of Dodge because this place, it's a cursed land stolen from indigenous people, and we have just been forced to be on it. And at one point in time, we came here willingly, thousands of years ago. There's evidence that suggests that, but are we indigenous to here? Absolutely not. Need people to stop believing that lie. And
Hmm.
we need to go back to the motherland and work with our own people to uplift the motherland. We are not to go back there and try to impose what we think needs to be imposed, because that again is a mentality that we need to break out of, because that's a mentality that was forced onto us by the colonizer. Like
Hmm.
that's a colonizer mentality, going into African spaces, our own people, and thinking that we can tell them what to do right off the bat.
Hmm.
That's an ideology that needs to be tossed to the side immediately. We need to be
Yeah.
there for the purpose of like, all right, I need to learn. I'm a student here in this land, and if you would grace me with the honor of teaching me about the ways of this land, so that way I can come back into and be with my people, then all right. And like, hey, what are ways in which I can help? How can I build? How can we work together to build? And
Hmm. Yeah. Same here. Yeah. That's what I've been thinking too. Well, I'm gonna go, y'all. I appreciate the conversation. Today was interesting. I'm glad my friends were able to join me. I'm not sure if y'all was here for the beginning of the live. It was quite a time. We're gonna post the replay up on YouTube. Um, again, the update will be posted in b1initiative.org, the Discord. Keep an eye on the community updates. I'm going to be sharing with y'all the updates as we keep moving along towards our goal, towards our vision. I've already posted our goals and objectives by Malcolm X, Organization of Afro American Unity. But donate here, $ bring down Babylon. Join us to get updates on what's going on with the business. Earlier today, we started our trademark application, and we got our domain names for our next project, and we are officially incorporated B1 Initiative Foundation as a nonprofit. So we got that, and we're gonna keep going. Y'all are gonna start seeing the updates on the website. Thank y'all for the congratulations, but congratulations to y'all, man. A lot of people in here donated the money. Um, Me, myself, and I rushed this past the finish line. So we appreciate her for that. But there was many brothers and sisters as well that did that, and we appreciate it. And so for any updates, check that out. I'm going to be posting lives on YouTube more consistently, and on Twitter. Y'all can check me out there. I'm gonna talk to y'all again another time. Um, Tia, do you want to give us the outro? Appreciate you, Jonathan. Oh, she might be gone. Oh, and thank you to Francesca for moderating as always. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a meeting tomorrow in B1 Initiative, y'all. I said the afternoon. I was thinking like 12. I don't know, maybe like 1 or 2. Is that cool with y'all, Francesca and Timothy? Oh, Central Time.
Yeah, that works out fine.
Okay, all right. So I'll say 12 Central Time. Timothy, for you that's 1 o'clock. I don't know where you at, Francesca. It's going to be in the B1 initiative. Okay, so that's for you. That's 1. Okay, cool. So it's going to be. I'm gonna ping all of y'all. So just have your notifications on for the Discord. Yeah, it's going to be in the Discord. So tomorrow at 12 Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's like 10 a.m. West Coast time. But if y'all want to join the meeting, you can. But I'm really looking for some contributors to the Discord space. I need people to help moderate and greet people when they come in, and stuff like that. But we got to vet everybody. But and then I'm also going to need contributors to our next project. You don't have to be tech savvy, but it is technically a tech project. But you don't have to be tech savvy to contribute. It's kind of like Wikipedia, where you can just kind of like help us with the articles that we need. But we'll talk about it tomorrow. Appreciate you. Hop in the tub before you hop in Black Business. Peace and power to the descendants of my ancient mother. I'll see y'all tomorrow.